to defeat the Swamp Rabbits and tie up round one of the Kelly Cup playoffs 1-1. They now hit the road to Greenville for games 3, 4, and 5. And battling for 9 innings, Florida baseball came up short against number 6 South Carolina, falling 7-5 on Saturday afternoon, leading to a Gamecock sweep of the Gators, the first series loss for Florida this season. And JU baseball bounced back with a Sunday 4-2 win over Austin Peay, avoiding a series sweep. During the series, we saw history made for the Dolphins as Chris Armstrong hits his 20th home run of the season. He is now second all-time in JU history for single-season home runs and tied for second in the nation. 75 degrees at 12:02. Time and temp are brought to you by Bueller Air Condition. Stay cooler with Bueller.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime. Prime time.
It's XL Prime Time, featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Mia O'Brien.
Bent over and let it happen.
Matt Hayes.
Terrible.
And Leon Searcy.
I did some curls for the girls.
How you like me now?
Welcome in, welcome in. It is draft week. This is the beginning of that build-up to Thursday night, number 24 overall for your Jacksonville Jaguars. And then some. You never know. This team has drafted twice in the first round the last 3 years. Not just the 2 that they got from the Jalen Ramsey trade. No, they moved up again last year and jumped in the first round when they went and got Devin Lloyd. But it's draft week. We can officially say that. Does it feel good to everybody? It should.
Round of applause. We
Yeah,
finally
honestly,
made it, folks.
It should feel good. We have made it. Now, we didn't spend nearly as much time on the draft this year, and this includes regular season draft talk for many, many years that you can go back in time and you feel the scars from that.
Remember now, that's a good thing.
Gotta believe it.
Because we haven't been spending much time talking draft is because this team is actually good.
Yeah.
Now, years in the past when we had the number 1 pick overall, in October, right before Halloween, before we get to candy, we're talking about the draft and who we're going to pick number 1 overall because we suck. But we don't suck anymore.
No, I love draft talk.
Good.
I love draft talk during draft season.
Yes,
okay?
I'd rather be on the back end of the draft than the front end of the draft.
And so it is now. And heck, Doug Peterson said it the other day. He goes, we like where we are. We've had back-to-back years. We've had the number 1 pick. We like where we are right now. You dang right you like where you are right now.
I like the fact that Leon brought Halloween candy back into it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's the truth.
You know the truth. You know that. Come on now. Before last year, come on, bro. We already eating Twizzlers and Twix and all kind of candy in here. We're talking about what's our favorite Halloween candy because the Jaguars are that terrible.
I will say this, though.
Yeah, we would do tricks or treats as a, as a teaser to the draft. Would you get another treat this year as opposed to getting tricked last year?
I think we've talked a lot draft, believe it or not, a lot. Like, I think we made up for it on the back end as opposed to what was going on.
Oh, yeah, but think about this.
Early on,
we went from 2 weeks of the postseason to 2 weeks of the Super Bowl to free agency and then the draft.
Right.
And I think we did what everyone should be doing is thinking about what you do in free agency before the draft. And then, lo and behold, this team has spent all their money the last couple of years, and so they didn't have anything really happen in free agency.
Here's the thing, and I want you to think about this. When you win, days go by faster when you win.
Oh,
Is it me?
true.
Is it me, or were we just a couple of months ago from playing KC and a couple of drop passes or fumbles away for going into the AFC Championship?
Yeah,
I mean, because free agency went by fast, the Jaguar game went by fast. The next thing you know, we're in the week of the draft right now.
Yeah, because the deeper you go into the season, you realize time slips away faster because you extended it, okay? Instead of it being a 17-game schedule over 18 weeks, this, like even Trevor had to correct himself with the player availability last week. He said we played 19 games. At first he was trying to remember exactly how many, and that's what you want. That's exactly what you want. So we're going to spend this week talking about the draft, getting your draft wish list, where you think they should go, where you think they will go. You just heard Jaguars today as they loaded you up with plenty of intel from Tony Pauline.
I know we talked about it last week when I talked about my attire when I got for the draft. I found the picture.
You did find it.
So on Thursday for the throwback draft, Big Sirs found the outfit that Cool Breeze from 183rd Street Flea Market gave me to wear the draft.
I do love that. We have got to see it. That
I had
will
to stay
definitely be our
consistent. He
throwback.
took care of me on my whole way through college. And then when I was about to get drafted, I had a bunch of suit people saying, "Hey, let me design this down." I said, "Nope, I'm gonna stay true to my guy." He gave me the outfit.
183rd Street.
183rd Street Flea Market.
That's like North Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I actually know where that is.
Yeah, I know you do.
Hey, listen, flea markets have bargains.
And you still have it. And you still got it.
No, I don't have it, but I have the picture that I wore on draft day.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't go to New York. I stayed at the house.
Yeah, which is smart.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Which I think the list is out of who got invited to the draft / who's going. And I think pretty much all the quarterbacks but Hendon Hooker. Let me take a look at that because I'm curious who will have the opportunity to be there, because there's always somebody, and I was listening to a couple of draft podcasts over the weekend, and they were saying this. There's always 5 to 6 players, Leon, that they go to that big green room, and then they got to wait the next day.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I didn't go. I mean, the guys who are locks usually go.
Yeah.
Most of the guys who are locks usually go. And, you know, just like they do today, like they did back in my day, Mel Kiper and them, they fluctuate your draft status, where they had me top 5, top 15, second round. And listen, last thing I wanted to be is be in that green room and all them draft picks go through and they don't call my name. Because, see, I don't have a filter when I get upset. I tear up stuff. So I know I know in that green room, I'm kicking over chairs, I'm flipping over tables. Probably wouldn't be the best advice thing to do, but I know I would be upset if I didn't go the first round.
Yeah.
So there's draft now, Leon. There's not just only you're invited to the draft. Now there's like a fringe group who's virtual draft invites, that is Hendon Hooker. So they're like, you're not good enough to be, one of the top 10 guys, but we think you might be a first round pick. So be on Zoom.
Literally.
Yeah.
We're going to set up a Zoom at your house just in case.
Yeah.
Here are the players
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Here are the ones who will be in Kansas
plan
City,
ahead.
by the way. These are the ones who will be in the green room. Jordan Addison, Will Anderson, Brian Branch, Jalen Carter, Zay Flowers, Christian Gonzalez, Paris Johnson, Will Levis, Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, we're at 18. Is that about right?
17, yep.
17.
Anthony Richardson, Bijan Robinson, Jackson Smith-Njigba, C.J. Stroud, Keon White, Tyree Wilson, Devin Witherspoon, and Bryce Young.
I think the thing that I most recognize when these guys walk across the stage and hug the commissioner is whether their suit is tailored or off the rack. I can tell.
Oh, yeah, I think.
And if you're making that kind of money, you better not be getting off the rack. You better get it tailored for this kind of case.
It has it. Now, you had a good suit game back in the day.
I did.
These guys now.
Tailored, by the way.
It is.
Oh, not only are they tailored now, they're like personalized now.
Oh, my
you open
God.
it up and they have like their college logo inside.
I like that.
And here's the thing that I love, because, look, I get a pair of shorts that's got a nice little pattern on the inside of the shorts. You know what I'm talking about, Big Sirs?
Yeah.
No one ever sees that. I don't know why
But
it's
that's
there, but
it's
I like
classy,
it.
though.
Yeah,
You know for yourself you're wearing a classy
I know
pair.
it's there. So then when they go on the stage, they now get to open up the coat to show all that fashion.
I like that.
Now, that's pretty sharp.
I like that.
Yeah, did you ever have that? Did you ever have the stitching, the certain silk fabric or whatever inside?
I probably did, knowing me.
With some of those Dick Tracy outfits
Oh,
you had
yeah,
back
absolutely.
in the day?
Pinstripes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh,
With
yeah.
the pocket square, yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It is a little cottage industry for these tailors, for these football players, that's for sure. All right, so hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can check us out on YouTube. Let's give everybody on YouTube a big old wave. You can check out YouTube 1010XL, our social channel, and you can interact there as well and let us know what you're thinking, because for you draftniks out there, you get goosebumps, okay? This is it, man. This is coming down to the wire. Now, not much changed over the weekend. At least I don't believe there's been a whole lot of chatter. Bryce Young is still Bryce Young, the presumptive number 1 pick. And then people are trying to figure out what's going to happen with that second spot. That definitely has been debated over the last 10 days or so, that C.J. Stroud came off the books. Matty is the betting favorite to go second. Now they've moved Will Anderson up. They've moved Will Levis up. Chris Ballard, the GM for the Indianapolis Colts, he said, we're not down to just one guy. Get over that. We've got a number of thoughts in our head. There's also chatter that Anthony Richardson could slide out of the top 4, maybe even out of the top 10. Any mutterings, any mumblings that you heard in your college football world?
I think the biggest muttering that I've heard actually is that Hendon Hooker's going to get in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest muttering. That he's going to, at some point, someone will trade back in to get him, is what it looks like.
And look, if he medically proves that the knee is responding and that he has come through, he had that injury in November. That's significant. And so if he is showing everybody medically that he's on course to get back to where he might be able to make some, I don't know, late OTAs or mini camp or at least training camp, that's a huge positive for him.
So, I mean, all things equal, let's say that Henry Hooker doesn't get hurt. Where would he, in your opinion, Matt, where would he be considered in this draft class as far as rankings go? If he's, I'm talking about completely healthy.
Just mine.
Completely healthy, yes.
Everybody's healthy, all things being equal.
All things equal.
He's about right at 5, I think. He's about right at 5. At 5, fifth best quarterback. Because I think all things being equal, and Levis is healthy.
Yeah.
And Levis, well, maybe 4. Okay. Maybe 4 over AR.
Yeah.
But probably 5.
Yeah.
Because I think when Levis is healthy and he's got protection, he's going to be a good quarterback if he can get in that right situation.
I still feel like you've got this insulation around Will Levis more than maybe other quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
If he had better protection and if he's healthy.
Well, last year he played. The year before he played well.
Yeah, I understand that.
They gave up 46 sacks this year.
Oh, I know.
He got killed.
Yeah, he did.
So I mean, he had better receivers this year now too, but they couldn't. He literally could not stand upright to get the ball to the better receivers. So. I mean, again.
And also his receivers weren't as good either.
No, receivers are way better this year.
Oh, really? You
way
thought
better.
So?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Brown and Key are both going to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
They just couldn't. He couldn't get it to him. They couldn't protect him. So I look at him as a guy that if he gets in the right spot, if he can get developed like Josh Allen, can he be a Josh Allen player?
That's what they're looking at.
No, but that's what everybody believes he can be. Does he have that type of talent and physical ability? Yes, he does.
Okay,
the same type of player.
All right, here's a good opinion guy that we will go to now. All right, Danny Cannell, CBS Sports HQ, played the position and is never short on opinions. You SEC lovers may hate Danny Cannell. We understand that. But here is Danny Cannell on Will Levis, and just listen to this.
I'm sorry. I just don't understand the Will Levis hype as a top 5 pick. This is the most overhyped quarterback of the last decade. And it stems from something that really bothers me. When people fall in love with a quarterback based on how they look in shorts and a t-shirt throwing against air. Yeah, Will Levis dominated his pro day, but where did he dominate the game tape? Yes, you saw flashes of brilliance and you saw some wow throws. But more times than not, I saw a quarterback struggle with the basic throws, routine throws. You want to make those look easy, and you'll get the wow throws will come later. Statistically, if you look at his season, it looks okay, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. But you have to remember, 9 of those touchdowns came against MAC competition. Everyone wants to project Will Levis as the next Josh Allen, but I think there's a more likelihood he's the next Jake Locker or, best case, Mitch Trubisky.
Wait. Was that about some of that?
Jake Locker.
Some of that.
That's reaching back.
Man, that's called venom. That is venom.
Some of that you could listen to and say, is he talking about Will Levis or Anthony Richardson? Because at the very least, and I understand, and Peter King went on his column this morning on, or at least him and a couple others did, about the fact that Sean Clifford beat out Will Levis 3 times. Will Levis had to transfer from Penn State. He couldn't beat out Perry Ellis of college football. And so at least there's game tape.
Well, yeah,
At
and
least
I
there's
like
game
the
tape,
fact
though.
that
As much as he couldn't beat out Sean Clifford, he did start for 2 years.
But Cannell points out against the competition, and if you take a look at AR, that game against Utah was, otherworldly. But then also the big runs that he had were against South Florida and some of the other ones. And if Will Levis is making close to 50% of his touchdown throws, or was that 50%, right on the number, against MAC competition. And so you can't help but at least – I just like the fact that there's a variety of opinions and some dissenting opinions.
Here's the thing I understand about Danny Cannell is when he's talked about most of the touchdowns came against MAC competition. Listen, these players don't make the schedule.
No, but you're still trying to figure out what they can do.
Yeah, but they don't make the schedule. They go out there and they perform, and whoever the talent is that they're going up against, they're going to play at their best. I mean, they don't mentally say to themselves, okay, a better team, I'm going to play better. You want to see consistency throughout the season in all these games that they're playing.
I don't think he was destroying them for having touchdowns against MAC guys. I think it was he's not having touchdowns against SEC opponents.
Yeah, just know that productivity, it did come a large percentage of it against lesser competition.
So 7 touchdowns, 6 picks against ranked teams this year.
Yeah. Okay, so that does mean something. You got to look at it.
It does, but again, in 21 he was sacked 25 times. This year 46. So they clearly could not protect for him.
Right.
And that and any scout or personnel person will tell you quarterback at the next level is the guys that throw well against pressure, the guys that see the field well against pressure, that move in the pocket well against pressure, are the guys that are elite.
Right.
So the question then becomes is what happens when he gets to the NFL? If he's struggling against pressure in college, what happens in the NFL? So that's why I'm saying is he's got to get in the right position. He's got to get on the right team, in the right situation.
Yeah, I think any of these guys, they could end up in football hell. We know that. And that could clearly define or determine their career. There are others that land in paradise and could, be that guy. As you can come up with examples that support it. Let's just use Mac Jones as an example. Mac Jones, when Josh McDaniels was the offensive coordinator and they had a good run game and good defense, what did he do? He thrived. At the very least, they won double-digit games. They got to the postseason. Offensive coordinator exits. Mac Jones is either exposed or put in a football hellish situation. And so you're right. You got to land in the right spot. Now, I'm trying to think of this contest. You Nooners can let us know on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, because I know there's some major draft nicks. They want to show off.
Real quick, let me interrupt real quick. So you go back to 21, 10 of his 24 touchdown passes were against Group of 5 teams. So if you want to take what Cannell is saying and extend it to another year, there's certainly a trend there. There's no doubt about
19 total. Did
that's
he say
19
9?
of his what?
Yeah.
19 of his 43 career touchdowns are against
Group
of 5 teams.
Right. So I don't mind it. I like it. All right. So you draft Nooners. I'm trying to think of this, JJ. You can kind of hone this contest. Part of me wants to go 10 Nooners, make 10 picks, and let's see how many they can get right in the first 10, because these quarterbacks are they are really going to set up the table and kind of tell us where the draft is going to go. Or would you rather have them 10 Nooners just predict where the 5 quarterbacks go?
I mean, to be fair to him, how many of Josh Allen's touchdown passes were against Group of 5
I
teams?
don't know, but he was Group of 5.
I'm guessing 90-something% of them?
Yeah, he was non.
What about Big Ben? How many of his career touchdown passes in college were against Group of 5 schools?
Big Ben threw a lot of them.
No, I know he did, but I'm saying you go with who you're playing against.
Well, that's true. That's what Leon said. I totally get that. But at the same time, you still are trying to judge whether a guy's going to be good or not. And Josh Allen, there was a huge question mark coming out of Wyoming.
Sure.
Would he be able to be that guy? But they said enough scouts and enough coaches and GM said, oh, I see that skill set. I like that. We can work with that.
If you're going to criticize Will Levis because of the Group of 5 stuff, well, that USF defense sure looked pretty good.
Believe me, that's what I said about AR.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson's highlight reel is against lesser competition, not named Utah, because Utah he played a hell of a game against. And it was, unfortunately, his first game of the season. It set him as a meteor, shooting star.
No, I actually meant against USF. He played poorly against USF. USF was what I meant initially from last year. As far as what you said, he played well against Tennessee. He played well against Texas A&M.
Put up good numbers.
He played well. He played well, probably mid second quarter, third quarter against Georgia. He did, and then there were just spots the rest of the way.
Right. Yeah.
I do like this from Josh Norris of Fantasy Football, or of Underdog Fantasy, excuse me. Clearly a Monday for yours truly. Just did a tape breakdown of Anthony Richardson. I do not see how his combo of pocket movement as a passer, athleticism, and arm fail in the NFL. He's not raw. He's just inexperienced. The difference is obvious when you see him download and learn from previous in-game moments. And so that's where, to the Will Levis point, because by all accounts, it sure as heck sounds like the Colts will have a decision. If Bryce Young goes 1, and if no one trades up to 3, and if the Texans really do go defense, the Colts will have their pick of the litter. I would think someone would try to trade up to 3, but if they don't, the question becomes, do you bank on someone in C.J. Stroud, who played against the best competition of the 3?
Right.
Do you bank on Will Levis, who probably has the most on tape? Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. I mean, I think he started the most games. Or Anthony Richardson, where, again, you're just saying, look at this mold of clay. You can't teach this.
Yeah.
And we just have to give him reps.
C.J. Stroud is a total of what? 27, 28 games, something like that? Well, they would have played in the Big Ten. It might even be 30.
He missed one game, in not this past year, the previous year, because he was injured. So he played, and they didn't play in the Big Ten championship game. So he played 12 games with the bowl game. And this year, 13,
games.
so
26,
25.
27. Okay.
And Will Levis has been 30, that's 24, 38 games.
Yeah, in the playoffs, so 26.
Yeah, but also, but also moved from one school.
24 as a starter.
Yeah. So 24 as a starter, so that's less than C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud has seen pretty good competition. You could have your opinion about Big Ten ball versus SEC ball and all that.
Yeah, but Stroud's whole thing now is his cognition stuff.
Exactly, which is major.
I'm going to read this for you.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. And by the way, this is the S2 cognition test that was brought up.
And you just said this is quote unquote major. Okay, this is what cognition means for those of you driving around thinking, what the hell are these guys talking about? Cognition refers to the mental action or process of acquiring knowledge and understanding through thought, experience, and the senses. It encompasses all aspects of intellectual functions and processes, such as perception, attention, thought, intelligence, the formation of knowledge, memory and working memory, judgment and evaluation, reasoning and computation, problem solving and decision making, comprehension and product of language. I mean, just watch the tape.
Yeah. Oh, no, you need more than the tape on this. Trust me on this. This is where your college nose stuck up in the air, you get lost.
No, NFL people do that. Their thing is, at the end of the day, your tape is your resume.
Yeah, but at the same time, what they're trying to do is advance whoever that player is to the next level. Next level. Okay, you can look great against lesser competition. How many times do we have to go down this road before we admit this exercise is it's a coin flip because
he looked pretty good against Georgia.
That's what I was going to say. If this was American Idol, this was American Idol, okay? If this was American Idol, and everyone auditioned, you put the 4 quarterbacks up, and you say who looked the best against the best.
Right. I don't know if you noticed not, but no one.
Second.
No one played Georgia better than C.J. Stroud.
Yes.
The last 2 years. No quarterback.
I would put him second of the guys that we're talking about. But let's also not dismiss the battery of testing that they're looking at. How quickly do you make the decision? And can you do it over and over and over?
Just watch the tape and talk to the kid. That's all. That's all you got to do.
Listen, I
interview him. Interview him, talk to him, do some stuff on the whiteboard with him. The rest of the stuff is literally paralysis by analysis.
I told a buddy of mine, I said, are you going to head out to happy hour? He said, every day except Thursday. I'm like, you ought to get that tattooed on your arm. You ought to get tattooed on your arm, just watch the tape. Because honestly, just because
it's not me. That's an NFL thing. It's not me.
No, I'm just saying, just because they excel in the college football world does not guarantee success.
I don't disagree with that.
It never has.
I don't disagree with that. All I'm telling you is their number one thing, and every single person will tell you this, is the tape. Yeah. Every single scout and personnel person will tell you that.
That I get. But, at some point, you got to be able to
it's the tape
rise above it.
It's the tape, number one.
You're going next level.
You know what number 2 is? Mm-hmm. The human condition. That's number 2.
Yeah. Which means,
how does he react when he gets to a situation where he's making a lot of money and he's playing a game that he used to play for fun. Now he's playing and he's a professional. He's got to go out there and work, like Leon says all the time, work on your craft.
You got to put your work in.
Does he invest in it? Is he committed to it?
Yeah, you got to put your work
in,
that's
for sure. So
it's
tape, human condition.
Yeah. All right, 641-1010. You can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We'll take a look at a handful of mocks, including Mia's. Are we 4.0?
We are at 4.0, the final installment.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is it.
Yeah, this is it.
All right, so we will roll through that coming up, get to a handful of those big picks. We got NBA to talk about from over the weekend. Man, there was a lot of stuff that went down with the Sacramento Kings now getting evened up by the Curry/Draymond led Golden State Warriors. We'll talk about all the other ones as well. It's XL Primetime on a beautiful Monday here on the First Coast.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Tom Jackson.
This is Shannon Sharp. I'm Mike McCarthy. You're listening to 1010XL.
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 92.5 FM.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing and Preferred Builders. Local, local, local. I love saying that because it's important. It really is. Companies that have built their reputation and their know-how by being in this community and working on those houses all around the First Coast. Well, they can do it, that's for sure. If you're looking at a roof leak, if you're looking at a roof replacement or repair, you need people that you can count on. So check out preferredroofingjacks.com. Take a look at the reviews. A member of the Better Business Bureau and doing it right every single day. And don't forget, remodels, additions, brand new homes, preferredbuildersjacks.com.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Bob Arablo here, president of your Jacksonville Icemen. Thanks to the doctors and staff at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, our team is well taken care of. We're proud to be associated with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. Our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists is ready to help you too. We'd like to thank the coaches and schools who trust in our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial, we're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control. Look, warmer weather now means mosquito, flea, and tick season is here. These pests are out for blood, but you don't have to let them win. Protect your home and family with Kingfish Pest Control. As a Kingfish customer myself, I know their products are safe for kids and pets. Plus, with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can relax knowing your yard is pest-free. Call today, mention the Jags to receive 10% off your initial service. That's Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
It's easier to catch fish if you know where to look.
Cast your line right over there.
Find more fish on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
Any luck?
Brought to you by Houston's Meats.
Thursday nights at 6.
On 1010XL AM.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars on their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
Get ready to take your game to the next level at Best Bet. Come and experience the best in card games, top-notch hospitality, award-winning sushi, and nonstop fun at our Jacksonville and Orange Park locations. We've got something fun for everyone. Choose from a variety of exciting poker games, including limits to suit all skill levels. If you're looking to try something new, we offer easy-to-learn games like one-card poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Pai Gow. You can also place bets on thrilling simulcast races while enjoying delicious food and drinks. See why we're the go-to destination for gaming and entertainment. Go to bestbetjacks.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the Southeast to offer multi-unit hair grafting and the 45-minute PRP treatments. Grow your hair back. Call now for a free in-person evaluation. 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com.
Did you know that many cooling companies are now part of big conglomerates with no connection to Northeast Florida? In the past, they have concentrated on heating and air conditioning, but after a buyout, many add plumbing and electrical services. This raises their overhead, and those costs are passed on to the consumer. It's a case where bigger isn't better, it's just more expensive. Not Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Mike Merritt remains family-owned and operated. Merritt's focus has been the same for more than 30 years, keeping Northeast Florida comfortable, no matter what the weather. And there are no overtime or weekend surcharges. Mike Merritt's team does not work on commission. They repair only what needs repair and offer replacements only on what can't be fixed. And unlike at giant corporations where you can feel like just another number, with Mike Merritt, you'll feel like number one. Florida license CACO 50384.
The best golfing weather is upon us, and Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to enjoy your round of golf with us. Our warm and welcoming atmosphere and spectacular golf course keeps our customers coming back. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Comes off the edge, getting in the face of the quarterback, and it's intercepted. Branch steps in front and gets the pick. Anderson started it. Branch finishes it. Alabama with another takeaway.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Like it or not, draft week is upon us, and it is a mock draft Monday on 1010XL.com and the 1010XL channels with yours truly, Mia O'Brien. XL Primetime rolling on with Joe C., Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy, JJ LaSalva as well. And yes, folks, I see some of you on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. I appreciate your emojis asking, why are we still talking mock draft? Well, sir, please invest in a calendar. The NFL draft is 72 hours away. We are going to be talking a lot of draft here on the Superstation over the next few days, not only through my mock draft, which we'll get to here in just a little bit, but also make sure you head on over to 1010XL's podcast channels, YouTube channel, and you check out our pre-draft roundtable, because not only does Brian Branch make an appearance in Mia's mock draft 4.0, but we actually had a very lively conversation with regards to the Alabama safety / nickel corner with one Matt Hayes on that pre-draft roundtable with myself and Hayes Carlion. Because, Matt, as much as so many people in Jags Twitter land and so many draft pundits around the country are mocking the Alabama safety to the Jaguars at 24, you're not so sure he fills that role per se.
No, as long as they draft him as a safety, I'm fine with that. He's not a corner. Don't think you're getting a corner with Branch.
Or
He's
a
not
big corner or an inside
He's
corner.
not a slot corner either, man. He will get exposed.
Yeah.
Alabama covered better last year when Eli Ricks basically figured it out and got on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Once he got on the field and started was opposite of McKinstry, who's going to be a great corner in the NFL, by the way. Alabama covered much better, and Branch was moved back to safety or the star position wherever he was playing. He's not a cover guy.
Yeah, okay.
So if you're gonna draft him as a safety because you want him to play safety, fantastic.
Right, but the other part of this is that I like the idea.
He runs like a 4.56 40. He is not a cover guy.
It was a slow 40, but Tony Pauline on Jaguars Today, again, he's a scout. He does his work. Pro Football Network. He basically says, what Leon says quite often: put pads on a guy and see what he does as a football player, and that he can cover ground. He's instinctive, all that good stuff that you want to hear. But then let's go back to the other part of this, because I like the idea of renewing and upgrading that safety position going forward.
Right.
But I think that's too high with the 24th pick overall.
So you mean,
in other words, if you're
mean
saying
you want him to eventually be there in 24 when Jenkins is gone.
Well, no. I'm saying if he's straight safety, like you're saying, I'm saying they can't afford the luxury of drafting 24th a safety. They can think about that down the road, but not in the first round. I wouldn't do that.
See, the funny part though is that when you turn on Leon, the NFL Network, when you turn on ESPN, the advertisement for Brian Branch and the endorsement for him is that he's this big physical inside guy that can cover tight ends. And so that's when Matt brought up about the coverage ability, in our pre-draft roundtable, that's when I was kind of surprised, because we've talked all off season about the Jaguars trying to find the Kelsey eraser, how so many teams, we're not, it's not just an arms race to compete with the Chiefs. It's also to come up with something to neutralize the best tight end in the National Football League. So my question is, even if his coverage ability is questionable outside of the tight end position, is the fact that he had 90 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, he can break up passes, he had 3 sacks, does that say, hey, who cares about the coverage ability? We're going to take him for this reason.
Well, I mean, if he's got instincts, I don't care anything about this 40. I'm going to watch his film. I'm going to watch how he can manipulate his coverage, the mix and matches of his coverage. Can he play man? Can he play zone? And I appreciate the Kelsey effect. Everyone's trying to find the Kelsey effect. You're not going to find a rookie for the Kelsey effect. Let me just tell you that right now. I don't care if it's Deion. Well, maybe Kelsey, but I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, rookie's not going to be in the Kelsey. What this team needs to be worried about more than anything is that, yeah, we can go out here and get a DB, a safety, or whatever that can play and whatever coverage we're in. But if we don't get after the passer, that just means that we're going to have guys who are going to be covering longer. That's all that means. I mean, we had 35 sacks last year, and if you're going to have guys that are going to be in the coverage 5, 6, 7 seconds, then
what's the quarterback doing? He's standing back here.
Exactly.
He's not getting off his spot. He's not uncomfortable.
I mean, listen. I like that we're trying to. This team is always trying to upgrade at whatever position there may be. No one should feel comfortable with their position, but I don't want my cover. I don't want my corners and my safeties out there covering for 6 or 7 seconds.
Yeah,
I mean,
believe me.
People are going to get open.
It will not go.
People are going to get open if that happens.
Now, there's been a run. The way the game has changed, with the number of receivers that are out in the pattern, the tight end that you got to account for, like you're talking about, Matt. Defensive backs are drafted much more often. Did we decide funky nug? Is that what this is? A little bit of a funky nug.
Saucy nug, funky Buddha.
All of it.
Yeah,
all of it.
Funky facts, yes, all together.
If you have the defensive backs, the way they have risen in popularity, 10 of the past 11 NFL drafts have featured at least 5 defensive backs selected in the first round. In 2014, 9 defensive backs went in the first round.
Saucy nugs.
So that speaks volumes as to, you got to have those
It's the
guys.
most drafted position in the NFL now.
Yeah. I mean, it's become a very, very popular place to go to figure things out defensively.
The way I look at it is if you are taking corner at 24, then I think you need to take a guy that not only can initially start out in the slot, a big guy, a long guy like Porter, if he falls, like Darius Rush, who I love. You need a guy that's big enough, but that in 2024 can get outside when Darius Williams goes bye-bye.
Right.
So I think it's – and Coach talks about this all the time. The draft is as much about now as it is how am I going to fill a hole that's coming up in 2024, the next year or the year after that. So, I mean, that's why, to me, you have to look at that. And if you take Brian Branch as your guy to play the slot, which I can't even imagine they would do that, but if they did, he's not going outside and playing outside. There's no way he's playing outside.
Right, not with that 40 times.
No. So I that's why I look at that and I'm thinking, all right, well, if you're taking him, then you're taking him because he's going to be your safety at some point. He's not going to be a corner. Right. And then it goes back to your discussion is, are you at the point where you can have that luxury? And I don't think they are. I think I think this pick has to be a guy that plays day one.
And I love how important safety is. I really, really do, because it's probably a little undervalued, like the defensive tackle that we talk about, but they can't do that now.
Branch clocks in not only at the 4.5 40 time, but 6 foot, 190 pounds. Again, this is Mia's Mock Draft 4.0. You can access it at 1010XL.com, as well as the 1010XL social channels for the video version. My 56th overall pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars in this week's mock draft.
A lot of vowels in this one.
Yes. I actually am going to pass the laptop over to Matt Hayes because
like on Wheel of Fortune,
he's more familiar with this guy, and therefore we're going to turn our pronunciations over to him.
On Wheel of Fortune, they'd say,
I believe
there are no more vowels, and this is a total of 3, 4, 5 consonants.
But he's Samoan. He's Samoan.
It's Tui Pulotuo, I believe is what it is.
Tui Pulotulo.
That's Tupelo-tu.
It was a lot of copying.
That's like Tupelo,
pasting.
Mississippi, and then Lotu at the end. That's Tupelo-tu.
Put it this way, if he's
Tupelo-tu.
This is actually very funny. If they do draft this cat,
yeah,
we should have a contest, okay? Who gets it right the first time?
I'm going to go with Tuli-Tui. Tuli-Tui.
Tuli-Tuli.
Yeah.
Tuli-Tulipatuo. Well, so here's the thing. Edge guy, USC. Maybe it's the East Coast bias. Maybe some people say that, this past season was an outlier for him. Last year, 14 games, Leon. 46 tackles, 22 for loss, 13.5 sacks, 3 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles. 12 games the year before. 48 tackles, 7.5 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles.
I like. He's disruptive.
You view that as growth. You don't view it as an outlier.
Yeah, absolutely. He's disruptive. I mean, not only sack-wise, but tackles for loss-wise. I mean, do they have quarterback hits on there? Probably don't have quarterback.
Yeah, not in the. I could pull it up somewhere.
But over the course of those 2 years, if you're talking about over 20 sacks, averaging 10 over a 2-year period,
yeah, that's good.
12, 13 game schedule. At 6'3", that's the one thing that I always worry about, the long arms and all that kind of stuff. But if he's cat quick and can make some moves, they need to find somebody at the edge position. Okay, they have gone to that well far too often and haven't netted hardly any consistent result.
So NFL.com's comp for him was George Karlaftis, who, of course, was drafted in the first round last year by the Chiefs.
That is.
He had 8 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, 7 pass breakups, 2 fumble recoveries his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
If you could mimic that,
yeah,
Jags fans will take that.
I don't know how much defense is being played in the Pac-12, but those are pretty good numbers for a conference that doesn't play a whole lot of defense. I don't mind that.
He's gotten better every year, no doubt about it. 2 sacks to 5.5 to 13.5. He's got the size. He's clearly, if you're playing an even front, he's an end.
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing an odd front, he's probably a 5. So he's.
The thing that probably gets me just a little bit is you can throw Lucas Van Ness, you can throw all the other guys that are up there, you can throw Tuli up there, and I don't. If Trayvon Walker was in this draft, he would be in the same pile. So that's still troubling.
So that was my next.
Yeah, and that was going to be
my next thing was going to be he plays like Trayvon Walker right now.
Yeah.
He's got one move.
Yeah.
He's not a guy. He's not a guy that's got a lot of bend. He's not a guy where you're going to see a bunch of moves.
Okay, that's
it's
concerning.
It's bold. It's around the end.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he can't get more. Doesn't mean he can't change his game.
Right.
But he's limited right now in what he does.
My thing, though, is that he can go inside and outside.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where, Leon, then we segue this conversation to, is Trayvon Walker playing inside or outside? Because that could determine what sort of pass rusher or defensive lineman you're targeting in this draft. I would think because you're losing Arden Key. As of right now, you're losing DeJuan Smoot. Both those guys could come inside if need be, or they go to the outside in both odd and even fronts.
Yeah, but you need an edge guy, and Trayvon Walker. We got a small sample. Well, we got a pretty good sample size of him on the outside, and he's just not getting it done on the outside. Most of his stuff that he's been disruptive in has been what I've seen is not him straight up rushing, but a lot of twist games. They've had to put him in situations where they run twists where he can be a lot more disruptive than he has been on the outside trying to rush. Just because he's young, he doesn't have a mentor. He doesn't have anybody that can teach him how to double move and chop and spin and all that other kind of stuff. So you would think that Josh Allen, but Josh Allen he's a middle of the cat. He's a middle of the road cat when it comes to. Now he played better on the back end of the season. Don't get me wrong. He played better on the back end.
A lot
of the
of them
season.
did, in fact.
But there was a period of time you had a period of time where it was a 5-week span.
8 weeks. He went 8 straight games at a set.
Where he was just invisible.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like a non-factor, like Casper. He was the friendly ghost.
I guess the great thing about it is that a lot of guys did a lot of good work at the end of the season. He wasn't alone, that there were other guys that stepped up. But, yeah, in 8, basically a half-season absence from the stat line in the sack department is just scary.
If you're your team's number one end, you cannot go 8 games without
You cannot, absolutely not. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Unless you're running him, unless you're hurting him to the other guy, and there's multiple sacks coming out of each game.
So I think we can agree the Jaguars' top 3 needs in this draft, and we've seen all the mocks, and they kind of all alternate and they switch around this combination of third corner / nickel safety, whatever you want to call it, offensive line, edge rusher.
Yeah.
So in this week's mock draft, I go corner,
I still put
edge, and then I go offensive line in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I still put the interior part of the defensive line as a major concern.
In addition to the edge.
Maybe even more than the offensive line.
All right, well, we'll circle back to that because I do address that in this week's mock. But for the 88th pick in this week's mock draft, I have the Jaguars selecting Carter Warren, tackle out of Pitt. He's a guy that they brought in for a top 30 visit. They sent a contingent to his pro day up at Pitt. 6'6", Leon, 311 pounds, 7-foot wingspan, 35-inch arms. Coming off a season-ending injury. I know all your radars are going off about that. He almost exclusively played left tackle. He did play a little bit of right, but almost exclusively left. And so the thought is maybe you bring him in, he's your swing this year, and then eventually with the coaching, because again, the Jaguars are banking on the coaching, he then becomes either your right or your left tackle, depending where you play Walker Little. And I think that's a big question. And I don't think the Jaguars will have this luxury necessarily because the tackle class isn't that deep. So depending when they strike at that position, do you say we need to draft somebody who's our right tackle of the future because Walker Little is the left tackle.
I mean, you're going to draft another left tackle? I mean, you got 3 already. I mean, you're going to have him, you're going to have Walker Little, and you're going to have Cam Robinson. I mean, there's no respect for the right. I would rather have a guy who's got some lineage that's played the right tackle position and has been effective. I mean, this notion that moving guys over is just ridiculous to me, to be quite honest with you, because they've had no history there. I mean, it ain't I tell you what, it's not as easy as people think.
No, and switching sides, you definitely have gone over, but I still believe Walker Little, even though he lost the job to Jawan Taylor, still had enough work preseason and during the season before he was thrown in at the left tackle, working at that right tackle spot. I'm feeling positive vibes coming out of him.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
So when I tweeted out this morning's mock draft, like I did note though, like I wrote this last week. I've seen so many people clamoring for Brian Branch. I brought this up in the handoff with Jaguars today. I was listening to Daniel Jeremiah and Peter Schrager over the weekend, and they both said because of the lack of depth in this tackle class on the offensive line, they expect some names who the Jaguars are targeting and would love to see in the second round, even if they have to trade up a little bit for them. Anton Harrison, Matthew Bergeron, a guy who has played right and left and guard, because don't forget there's also speculation if Ben Barch could be ready for the start of training camp. Those guys in their mock draft, Daniel Jeremiah and Peter Schrager on The Season, which is Schrager's podcast, they had those two guys sneaking into the first round, going to the Bills and the Bengals. I think the Jaguars would run into a situation where if they know those teams are targeting them, they may have to grab them.
Because those are two AFC teams that you want to tangle with at the end of the year.
Darnell Wright might be the third SEC player picked. He's
that that highly regarded.
It's not that he's that highly regarded. He's one of the few tackles right now in the draft with a ceiling. Hasn't come close to a ceiling. These other guys, there's a lot of guys out there right now other than Skoronski and
which Skoronski's probably moving inside
Jones,
the guard.
And Jones, that you could see potential and ceiling with them. Anybody else behind those three and right, those three are just, they're there. There's not much there. Or they're a project. That's why I think he's going to go way up. I bet he goes in the top 15.
Well, it's like we always say, there are only so few big men walking the planet that play the game.
And he played really well last year.
And that's what makes it almost, as much as I always talk about, you fall in love with the quarterback with your combine eyes, they fall in love with the big men this time of the year because they're just afraid that they're not going to have those guys. All right, so let's stay on the offensive alignment just for fun right here. Saucy Funky Nug, okay? And let's just see how you guys will nail most of these. Colleges with the most first-round offensive linemen. All right, we're going back 1967, the modern draft. Colleges with the most first-round offensive linemen. I have a total of 8 colleges here.
Wisconsin's got to be on.
USC, Wisconsin, and Alabama. Those three right there.
All right, Wisconsin, we got a ding. Alabama, we got a ding. What'd you say?
USC.
We got a ding.
Yep.
How many you want?
Got to go Ohio State.
There's 8. There's another ding.
Pittsburgh.
No.
No, offensive linemen.
Is it all offensive linemen, not just the tackle position?
Most first-round offensive linemen.
First round.
The University of Miami.
No. Me and Brian McKinnon.
Am I legally obligated?
Joaquin Gonzalez.
Am I legally obligated to say the University of Iowa?
Notre Dame.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do we get a ding for it?
A ding for Iowa.
Hey, there we go.
A ding for Notre Dame. Okay. So there's one that you may have said it. I might have missed it. Who?
Nebraska?
No.
Colorado?
No.
Tennessee?
Tennessee? Yeah, that'd be the Darnell Wright connection.
Nope. What did you say?
No Oklahoma?
Nope.
Washington?
Nope.
LSU?
Nope. So right now, we have got Notre Dame's been mentioned. Iowa's been mentioned.
Georgia might be in there. Georgia?
Nope.
Kentucky?
Notre Dame. Yeah. Notre Dame, Iowa, Whiskey.
How many more we?
Southern Cal.
Michigan.
Yeah.
There you go.
Michigan.
And I'm trying to remember if you said one of these other ones.
How many more we have?
Well, I'm trying to make sure if you got 5 or 6 here. You've thrown a lot at me.
Well, just say it. If we said it, we'll tell you.
Did you say Alabama?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you say? Well, this is one I know you haven't said. So this is really the last one then. So you had
All right,
6.
then hang
I
on.
gave you
There's
that
one
one,
more.
7.
Give us a
You got
hint.
one more? All right,
Florida.
So you
Give us a hint.
Florida.
it's a school you would not expect unless you drill down on the offensive line.
Boston College.
There you go.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, once you get it. Okay, so at
Once
the
you
top-
said that, I knew that's what it was.
Yeah, so at the top of all of them, and by the way, this is by 11 selections, okay? In other words, at the bottom, you have 3 teams that had 10. That includes Boston College. You had a couple that had 11. You had one that had 12. You had one that 13. The other one had 24. Which team is it at the top? Most drafted offensive lineman in the first round.
Alabama.
Nope.
Wisconsin.
Most. And by 11.
Michigan?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
No.
I say it's not Wisconsin.
It was one of the first ones you blurted out.
Ohio State.
Nope.
Alabama.
Nope. Southern Cal.
Oh.
Yeah.
24, including.
They had a
Big Bo.
lot, not recently, but prior.
Yeah, so since
Ton.
1967.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the total body of work. But anyway, 11 more than the next closest one in the history of the first round since 67. That's pretty big.
And you think about USC as a skill position place.
Yeah, of late, you're right. You know, the days of Big Bo, and heck,
Anthony Munoz, too.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, is
Yeah.
you go back all the way to there. And
Yeah.
so if you're
Pat
going all the way back to
Harlow
the
was-
60s.
Yeah.
Pat Harlow.
That is going back.
Right.
That's-
Real
Yeah.
quick, because we're going to hit our Duval Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
Speaking of Big Bo, our number 2 best, worst, ugliest draft picks
Yep.
in Jaguars history. That's going to come up at 1 o'clock. So let me quick run through the rest of
Mhm.
this week's mock draft.
Mhm.
4th round, so day 3 picks for your Jaguars. Cameron Latu, the tight end out of Alabama,
Love him. Think he's gonna be a
121.
pro. Yep. Love him.
And I think we heard Matt last week from Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson that tight end, well, certainly if the opportunity is there to fortify that room, they're not as focused on it.
guy.
Yeah, smart guy. High IQ. Inline tight end as well.
Big
Didn't
size.
start out as a tight end either, but developed
Edge
into a
rusher.
really good tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good
Oh,
player.
I like that because
High
honestly,
ceiling.
what you are trying to find out is if you have something heading into those mid rounds that you can turn into a starter or a performer.
By the way, Mr. Latu, 98 on the S2.
Oh, see, there you go.
So just so we have that one. I have them also taking Dontavian Wicks, the
pretty
wide
good.
receiver out of Virginia, in the 4th round with the 127th overall pick. The Jaguars brought him in for a top 30 visit, and they've met with him at other times throughout the duration of the draft process. A guy that also was hurt this past season, but when you look at some of the numbers he was able to put up in 2021, 57 passes, 1,200 yards, 21.1 yards per catch. I mean, just a guy that 6'1", 206, he goes up, he wins at the point of
Right.
the
And
point-
not a serious
point.
injury.
No,
'Cause-
it was the.
Because that's what I look at. Like, if you go back to one of your other selections that had the injury,
Yeah.
The edge, you're talking about a torn. I believe it was a torn meniscus.
Yeah.
That scares you.
No,
So that
it's-
offense collapsed. I mean,
Right.
Brennan Armstrong wasn't even close to the same player he was.
Yeah.
Right, so that was obviously a big reason. He would immediately become the largest guy in the Jaguars wide receiver room, so obviously gives you a different look. In round 6, Anthony Johnson, safety out of Iowa State. The funny part is he's a guy that, as I'm like doing my, breakdown of him, he may actually, as a safety, won't eventually, hit the bound or be able to play the perimeter and replace Darius Williams like Matt was alluding to, but he may actually be just as a hard nose hitting nickel corner as Brian Branch. So that one's worth noting. 6 foot, 205, 31 1/4 inch arms, 8 3/4 inch hands. That's the same measurables as Devin Witherspoon, Keely Ringo, Emmanuel Forbes.
Right.
And those are guys that the Jaguars have allegedly looked
Sure.
into. Carl Brooks, defensive tackle, Bowling Green, a guy who can go inside and outside, a bit of a project, 6'3",
Urban
303.
spotted him way back in the day.
Might be worth taking a
Way
look
back,
at. Keaton Mitchell, the running back out of Eastern Carolina. He is a speed guy. I still think the Jaguars need a bowling ball, but he may be one of the most electric tight ends past Bijan Robinson in this year's crop. And then I have them selecting Cam.
Running back, yeah.
Speaking of Herb, I have them selecting Cam Brown, a corner who just never really panned out at Ohio State. Had some knee injuries, season-ending leg injury, Achilles injury. But when he did play, he was somewhat productive.
Yeah, yeah, that one scares you. Just again, I can't help but look at these injuries. As long as you know that there isn't a long-term danger, then they can rehab. They can come back from a lot of them. But yeah, you worry whenever you hear Achilles. That's for sure. You can check it out. Mia's mock draft, 1010xl.com or any of the social channels, and you can get a vibe on that. And you can hit us with a comment either on YouTube or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We got Good, Bad, and Ugly coming up. These are the last two.
Yes, we're at number 2. We're counting them backwards, folks. And so, once again, for everyone looking for the R.J. Sowards, the Luke Jokels, the Justin Blackmans of the world, we have reached that point in our rankings. You're not going to want to go anywhere. It's XL Primetime on a beautiful Monday in Duval.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Anytime Fitness Sawgrass is the preferred gym of yours truly, Mia O'Brien. Strengthen everything from calves to confidence.
This is the place for Jaguars football.
This year obviously was huge for this organization, for our city. The fans obviously brought it.
1010XL, home of Jaguars fans.
Thank you, Jacksonville people. Man, we appreciate you guys.
All Weather Contractors is a full-service multifamily and commercial construction company focused on building better careers. We're looking for experienced HVAC professionals to join our team now. If you're ready to make a fantastic living, apply today at allweathercontractors.com. We offer premium pay, bonuses, full benefits, 401k programs, employee stock ownership opportunities, and a culture focused on career advancements and opportunities. Build a better career in the HVAC industry. Apply online today at allweathercontractors.com.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, takes the field this season at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark as the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids run the bases after Sunday games. Call 358-2846 or jackshrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
When you look for that hard-to-find part for your car or truck, Rusty Acres is your source for used Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury auto parts. You'll get the parts you need and advice on how to install them. Rusty Acres, 786-1777.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I said yes to Yas, Dr. Mitchell Yas, and the Yas method. Now, I know you've probably tried medications, treatments, injections, even surgery. Maybe the reason you're still in pain is because they're treating the wrong thing and not addressing the root causes. Well, I know from personal experience, this does happen. But I found the best-kept secret in pain elimination, Dr. Yas and the Yas method. Call him today, 904-906-YASS, and say yes to Yas.
Years ago, when Harrell & Harrell was growing, we had a decision to make whether we were going to grow into the state or even beyond. And we decided that we were going to stay here in this community in Northeast Florida. It's staying here and not looking at where's the next place that we can go or how can we get bigger, because bigger is not necessarily better. This is our home, this is where our families are, this is where our friends are, and this is where we're going to stay. Offices, Jacksonville.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinsky. The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Prime Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Jacksonville has some junk, and J-Dog is removing it. They're here to do the dirty work. You don't want to remove and dispose of large furniture or appliances yourself. Call J-Dog. Here now, proudly serving you, removing junk from your home or business. They can even handle small demolition projects, and they're still donating local items to veterans in need. So let J-Dog do the dirty work for you. J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned and operated. JDog.com. I want my Woody's barbecue.
This is a test of the emergency barbecue system. It is advisable you report immediately to your neighborhood Woody's barbecue restaurant. Now, to pass this test, simply order a slab of baby back ribs, a generously sized family feast, a sky-high pie, and a barbecue chicken too. Woody's Barbecue. Been doing it low and slow for over 42 years.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all. Selling or pawning, get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, Duval! The pick is in, and the Jaguars select you to join them at Daly's Place Thursday, April 27th for the official 2023 Duval Draft Party presented by Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. The party starts at 7 and includes live coverage of the NFL Draft, guest appearances by Jaguars players and coaches, and more. Don't let this train leave the station without you. Claim your tickets today at jaguars.com/official draft party. The best place to watch the draft is here.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update brought to you by YMCA. I'm Taylor Dahl for 1010XL. Draft week is here, now just 4 days away from the 2023 NFL Draft as the Jaguars select 24th this year. After a postseason run, Tony Pauline joined Jaguars Today this morning and shared his thoughts on who he has heard the Jaguars may covet at 24.
The intel's right, but is right on the money. But what I heard was the 3 defensive players,
okay,
and I'll get into that they really covet are Lucas Van Ness, Devin Weatherspoon, and the aforementioned Deontay Banks.
Visit 1010XL.com for more. In addition, in the most recent Peter King mock draft, he has the Jaguars selecting Iowa edge Lucas Van Ness with that first-round pick. 75 degrees at 103. Time and temper brought to you by Bueller Air Condition. Stay cooler with Bueller.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Yeah, I mean, if it came down to it, this is where I wanted to be. So it was a perfect fit, and it worked out. I'm just happy. I mean, I was nervous coming when the second pick came up, and I just really wanted everything to work out.
And a big part of it was Coach Coughlin's attitude. I mean, we know him as a no-nonsense guy, and obviously you do as well.
Definitely, it was a big part. I mean, I want to play for a guy that tells you how it is, tells you what he's feeling, and who's a winner and expects to win.
What kind of work ethic do you think that you'll have to elevate to play professional football?
I think I'm just going to have to keep on working harder and harder, and I think I have a good work ethic, but you're right, I'm going to have to pick up a notch. To compete with these great athletes at the NFL, I mean, it's going to take a little extra work, but I'm willing.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
That was a young, emerging star in one Tony Baselli, the number 2 pick overall. Ready to get to work, he said.
That was 2 Hall of Famers in that clip.
Oh, yeah. The other one being Sam Kavaris. He led the interview. He might have had a hand in the selection. I'm not sure.
I mean,
but Sammy
he did.
K.
Of course he did.
Sammy K was right there on the spot.
A.K.A.
What's up,
Arden
Sam?
Key.
Well, we called Baselli. We nicknamed him in the locker room.
Mhm.
Firstborn.
Firstborn.
Yeah,
That's
firstborn.
beautiful.
That's pretty good.
That's beautiful. But when he came in, as he said he was ready to work, Tom Coughlin, the guy that he said he'd like to play for, and we all know, back in 1995, that was the birth of the Jaguars' existence from a player point of view. He was Mr. Jaguar, and now he's a Hall of Famer. So let's set up our good, bad, and ugly. We are down to the final 2. We have today and tomorrow, down from our Duval Dirty Dozen, which is how we started. We'll do it every offseason in some form or fashion, and this was beautifully cued, good, bad, and ugly. We had to have 2 categories, bad and ugly, to fill all the spots, but a dozen good ones. And Tony Baselli apparently is on someone's number 2 spot.
Yes, he is my number 2 good pick by the Jacksonville Jaguars in their franchise history, because anytime with the first pick in your franchise's history, you can draft a Hall of Famer. I'd say you hit it right on the nose.
Yeah.
Moreover, you look at that class, and we went through it the other day. It was a pretty good draft class, all things considered. 4 Hall of Famers eventually in that class. But as an emerging, brand-new franchise, it would have been very easy for the Jaguars to try and go quarterback, to try to force a square peg into a circle hole with a Steve McNair or Kerry Collins. A couple of those other guys that went in the first round really didn't pan out all that much. And, I mean, obviously the number 1 overall pick, Keyjana Carter.
Oh, yeah.
And we know what happened there. And so, that's where I think for the Jaguars to do what they did, get a solid bookend staple of your franchise, that's a good draft pick.
All right, so that's the leadoff good right there, Big Sirs.
Okay.
A member of
I like
the
it. I like it. I like it. Well, I'm always I'm all about the quality picks. I mean, because I could have value picks.
You
value
and Trent
picks.
Baalke.
Absolutely. I mean, with Trent Baalke here. All right, because I could have easily went in the top 25 and made them all my good. But I'm going with a guy where, first of all, in his era they were terrible. Absolutely. The quarterback play was terrible as well. But he still got 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. It was a second-round pick. He was supposed to be Jamar Chase to Blake Bortles. Okay? Allen Robinson. I got Allen Robinson as my number 2 good.
Okay.
Now.
You're definitely going value.
I'm going value because he was a second-round pick. He had 22 touchdowns.
Garbage time.
Huh?
Garbage time.
Well, hey, listen, you call it garbage, I call it football.
Has a player ever just been in quarterback purgatory for their entire career, like Allen Robinson?
Well, yeah.
I mean, just plagued by bad quarterback play.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why.
the board.
That is one of the reasons why I had him on my list because because Bortles, despite his horrible play, he still found a way to get 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns. Now, like Matt said, probably a lot of that times he was getting those touchdowns. They were down by 20.
Yeah.
All right, but it's still touchdowns.
But he did go from Blake to Mitch Trubisky, and then some.
He can't catch a break.
Yeah, up in Chicago, and then went to L.A., and then Matt Stafford got hurt, and now he's on his 4th team in – what year was he drafted, Leon?
2014,
right?
He was in Blake Bortles' draft.
Yeah, so 14. Yep.
Okay. So he's been around now.
Isn't he back with Mitch again?
No, he is actually in Pittsburgh now.
Yeah,
that's right. I forgot Mitch is in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the
backup.
Oh, my God. All right, so let's go to your
What a
good,
great
Matt.
friendship.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't get rid of this guy. It's like the posse
But to
on
be
Butch
fair-
Cassidy and the
to be
Sundance
fair,
Kid.
Mitch-
Who are those guys?
Mitch isn't going to be his quarterback, so Mitch is just the backup.
Yeah. You're good.
So I went with Trevor Lawrence at number 2.
Okay. All right. I had him number 3.
And I know we've got a 2-year basically window of what we've seen from him so far. But you look at the number 1 overall pick that you cannot miss on. Might have missed on the last one. That you cannot miss on, right? And you got the guy.
Yeah.
You got the guy. And there were some questions last year. There's no doubt about it, especially after that London game. And he just, man, it just clicked. Boom, boom. And then he was rising.
Yeah.
What's the old Seinfeld thing, JG? Rising like a phoenix. He was rising the second half of the season. And I think if you look at potentially what he could be, the idea of him being a 10, 12, 14-year guy, 16-year guy with 3 or 4 contracts, and he's your guy forever, and you're in the playoffs forever with this cat. Yeah, he's got to be there right now. There's only one guy better. If you're looking at it from the point of potentially, which I know you don't with these draft picks, but this one I think you have to because of the nature of the position and the overall pick.
Yeah,
it's hard to not put him high.
Right, we can come up with any rationale we want, and I had him number 3, you had him number 2. He's been on other lists, and I just simply say that he has the potential to be the best player you have ever selected in the draft. And so, I won't come back and say, hey, you're crazy because I put him number 3.
Right.
But he easily could rise to be the best this team has ever had. All right, my number 2 good, and this is moto time for me because that Trevor was the last one that fill in the blank. There's still more career. These last 2 are career guys, okay? They've done it. Freddie T is my number 2 all-time draft pick. Now, it's funny because we went with the Duval Dirty Dozen last year, and it was the best player. and I put Freddie at the top. You can figure out how this is going to go because something's changed since then.
You did him dirty
okay?
like that. You know that, right?
No, I don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee you, Mr. Doing for value.
Yeah.
I know who he's got at 1.
Yeah.
He
Well,
didn't
we'll
do
find
him
out.
dirty. I can
We'll find
guarantee
out.
you that.
But I put Freddie T second all time in the good category for the draft because, if you look at what he did, it's so funny that he was over the 30 touchdown mark in his first 3 years. 10 touchdowns more on average his first 3 years. 14 touchdowns first year, 6 the second, a dozen the next. And then, obviously things started to lessen. But over 24 touchdowns in his first 3 years, or close to 3,500 yards in his first 3 years. He went on to be a 10,000-yard man here, okay? And it was one of the biggest moments and proudest moments for him because he became an unstoppable force.
When you ran the ball in the NFL.
Yeah, he became
not the way it is now.
Unstoppable force. And so Freddie T, I always call him my favorite Jag, but he is the number 2 in the good category of the best draft picks.
A little disappointed in you, I got to be honest.
Why?
I just am. It's all right.
You think I should have flipped is what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, I'll give you
I
my
had
reason.
I had your 1 at 3, by the way.
I'll give you a reasoning tomorrow.
All right.
I'll give you my reasoning tomorrow. All right. We save bad and ugly. We combo them together. Let's just sneak bad in right now.
Yeah, let's do bad.
Let's just do bad right now. All right, Big Sir, back to you. Bad.
Bad. Number 2 at bad is a repeat offender. Tyson Alualu. Top 10 defensive tackle. I know he's been on your list. Just very unproductive. Can't be a top 10 pick defensive tackle and not shine. And there was no shine on this guy.
No, especially as we have said, it was the 10th pick overall, and everyone wanted it to be Timmy. And so that definitely made it a little more bad in the eyes of many. He was a serviceable, good player for a long time, but does that warrant a top 10 pick? No. All right, bad. Mia?
Mine's an obvious. We've been through him before. That is one Dante Fowler. All the on-the-field issues, the on-the-field fights, the off-the-field issues. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still playing, and that's more than a lot of these picks that could be still active. We could say about them. But obviously, to be the number 3 overall pick and not really live up to those lofty expectations, yeah, bad pick.
Yeah, and that's why I put him in my ugly category because of all the other things. All right, so you're bad, Matt.
My bad's a repeat offender, but it's just he played 20 games for this team. Number 5 overall pick in 2012, Justin Blackman. Here's the thing with this franchise.
You have him under bad, not ugly.
Bad, correct. Under bad.
Interesting.
He's bad.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. How do they keep selecting receivers? R.J. Soward, Reggie Williams, Matt Jones, Justin Blake. They just went over and over and over with these first-round picks that they didn't do due diligence on off the field.
Yeah.
So Justin Blackman, again, a lot like Matt Jones, a lot like Reggie Williams, if he's got his head on straight, he could have been a really, really talented player here. He played 20 games. 20 games.
It's inexcusable. Yeah. There's a lot of them that we have used that definition for. That's for sure. All right, my bad. And look, we go back and forth as far as bad and ugly and where you want to put these guys. But I'm just very simply going to put this was the beginning of the bad in a lot of ways. And it's Derek Harvey. And the reason why I say it's the beginning of the bad, and it led to more than a decade of ruin, okay? It started one of the worst tumbles this team had experienced. They were in the playoffs 2 of the previous 3 years. They come in 2008. Shaq Harris is in charge. Jack Del Rio says it's time for a defensive guy. They move up. This was when they were in the not BOGO.
They thought they were in the window. They thought the window was open.
They were not in the BOGO world. They were in buy one, give away 2. Okay, they would give away draft picks to move up, and they took Derek Harvey, number 8 overall, and then it just went to hell in a handbasket from there because it went Harvey, Monroe, Alualu, Blaine, Blackman, Luke, Dante. I mean, you can go on at Blake, Dante, Leonard. You can go on and on and on. It just was the worst stretch of living in the top 10 and constantly having to explain what happened to that guy. And I just can't get away from Derek Harvey. I used to have him as my number 1 worst pick ever, But the fact that they gave up capital to get in that position, and this guy, when it was all said and done, had hardly done anything for this football team, just rode off into the sunset. He was cut by the team. After 3 seasons.
So you want to hear something really crazy since you went over that list? You're dead on with him, by the way. He's one of my guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
So since Derek Harvey, okay, the first pick for this franchise, Monroe, Alualu, Gabbard, Blackman. Tell me when somebody did something. Jokel, Bortles, Dante Fowler, Jalen, who how long was he here? 2.5 years?
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
2017,
Fournette,
16, 17.
gone after 3. Yeah. Taven Bryan. Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Jury's still out on Josh Allen.
Well,
Okay?
believe me.
100% it is, okay? C.J. Henderson. Caleb Von Chason.
I mean, I just
And then
rounded them all off,
finally,
and it just
finally, because they were the worst team in the league, and he basically was put in their laps, Trevor Lawrence. And Herb almost missed the call, by the way. And then the next year, Trayvon Walker.
Derek Harvey started it all, okay? You ever see that celebration where they throw that, I don't know, that ball or whatever down the mountain over there in the UK? What is that one, JJ? Where they just go running down the hill and people end up with their heads split open?
I've seen that. I'm not sure.
Find the name of that, because that's what this team did. They started a tumble that lasted over a decade.
It's still going on.
Well,
if you look at Jalen and Leonard Fournette's blown picks, because you easily could look at it that way, right?
Well,
it's called Cooper's Hill Cheese Rolling and Wake.
They never got the second
was a
contracts.
blown-
They never got the second contract.
Oh yeah, believe me, I got all the artillery against them on that.
If you really look at it the way you're looking at it, the only guy that's been good for them since Harvey is the guy that was placed in their lap.
The only guy.
The only guy.
No. The only guy that got a second contract from 2008 on among top 10 picks, the only guy was Blake Bortles. And he got it for a year. And then he was gone. That was it. What was it called, JJ?
It is Cooper's Hill Cheese Rolling and Wake.
There you go.
Yes.
The cheese, okay?
Annual event in Gloucester, England.
And I'm telling you, there are broken limbs, fractured skulls, and this team threw that cheese down the hill and then just started power bombing it from the top of the mountain and just fell and fell.
Does Josh Allen get a
and
second
fell.
contract?
Jury's
they
still
picked
out.
up the option, but they haven't given it to him. But
I think he does. I think they'll sign him, but still,
Blake
it's still a question,
yeah.
man.
And Alu did get another contract, but we're talking about, just the way it went is just unbelievable. They did go play for other teams, but that is something. All right, even though we just went through an ugly exercise, we still have more for you. We have the ugly coming up. Number 2 on our good, bad, and ugly list of the all-time Jaguars draft.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
In times of old, the world was full of wonder and magic. But times change.
Get your wonder and magic on 1010XL.
This month, the Key Buick GMC received 2.9% financing for 60 months or choose 4.9% financing for 72 months on all available GMCs, $500 off all new vehicles for active, retired, enlisted, and previous military. Home of Jacksonville's no added deal and markups with clear, fair pricing, as well as the only Buick GMC dealership offering lifetime powertrain warranty on all new GMCs. Key Buick GMC. We are professional grade, Southside and Gate.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Crystal, COO with Remedy Staffing. As employers, labor trends continue to keep us guessing. Is the job market strong? And what is worker availability going to look like? Well, February's BLS job report indicated that we have a hot job market and that Jacksonville's unemployment rate is 2.5%, 1% lower than our national average. So if you're interested in workforce solutions and how our team can help you, please call or text me at 904-329-9802.
Hey guys, Hicken here. It's hot now and it ain't getting any cooler. Unless you stay cooler with Bueller. Bueller Air is still locally owned and still treating their growing customer base like they're part of the family. Go ahead and Google them yourself, Bueller Air. You won't find better rated air conditioning company in town. I use them, so I already know. I love them. Like I said, it's getting hotter than ever outside, so stay cooler with Bueller.
Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
ITB Partners, the official financial firm for the station to beat inflation.
Whoa, Dan. People don't want to joke about their money, not during these tough times.
You mean they'd rather hear about how ITP Partners takes our money and makes us more money?
Now you're talking. They make financial planning simple and easy to understand, even for a couple of slappies like us.
Those guys have been serving Hickets for 3 generations. Junie bugged me. I even got my son Juju being smart with his money in his 20s.
It's never too early to talk with Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Brian Wright, Reagan Wright, Jeff Hartman, and Craig Ross.
Financial questions, ideas, or thoughts? Email chris@itbpartners.com.
David here with Royal Pest Services. That grass is waking up from its winter nap. Royal is close to applying products that help bring it out of that dormancy. Our granular aeration allows treatment to get to the root system. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate. It's grow time!
From the very beginning, 1010XL has encouraged and recognized the accomplishments of local scholar athletes.
Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
The game of golf has never been more popular, and Hidden Hills Golf Club wants to help you make golf your thing and love the game as much as we do. Golf instruction is available, and Hidden Hills boasts a warm and welcoming atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com.
When did Disneyland in California open, and what did it cost to build? The answer coming up.
It's always a good idea to compare homeowners' insurance rates instead of renewing year in and year out. Log on to southernoak.com and get an instant quote in minutes.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Disneyland was built in 1955, almost 70 years ago, at a cost of $17 million.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Garrett Scantling here, sports fans. I'm still feeling great from the treatment and care I received from Dr. Acevedo and Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where you're treated like a pro.
This is Dr. George Acevedo. Thanks to Garrett Scantling for those nice words. And if you have foot and ankle issues, visit Southeast Orthopedic Specialists today.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y Summer Camp, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, I have heard you talk about growing a diamond from a smaller size to a larger size. Exactly how does that work at Underwoods?
David, it's a very simple thing we do on diamond solitaire rings and diamond ear studs and diamond solitaire necklaces. When a customer buys one of these items from Underwoods, we guarantee they get the price paid for it on the purchase of any larger or more expensive diamond. Now, a lot of places would say we do the same thing, but where Underwoods is different is we don't care if you're only trading up by 1/100th of a carat or going up by $1. We give the customer the full value of the diamond they're trading in. The Underwood Grow a Diamond program has been in place for a number of years, and it's something the people here in North Florida have been taking advantage of for a long time.
That's at Underwoods, where you can grow a diamond.
Underwoods, serving excellence since 1928 in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Underwood Jewelers.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Penny, lots of time. Caught at midfield by Blackman. Still on his feet, Justin Blackman. Wow!
During the last timeout, we were talking about how conservative we thought the Jacksonville Jaguars might be with a touchdown lead. Their defense playing pretty good against a tough Houston offense, and Jacksonville doesn't bat an eye and goes deep down the middle to their #1 draft pick, and he pulls this in like it's nothing.
This is XL Primetime, protected by Preferred Roofing on 1010XL.
What could have been. Although, if you were hanging out in Stillwater with Justin Blackman, maybe you knew all along what was coming down the pipeline when the Jaguars selected him in the first round. It is our ugly top 12 ugliest draft picks of the Jaguars. draft history. And yes, at number 2 in my personal rankings, I do indeed have the former number 5 overall pick. And it's not just the fact that Justin Blackmon played in, 20 games, 1,280 career yards. Some people have that in a season, 6 career touchdowns. But it's the fact that 31 other teams, Leon, did their due diligence. They sent scouts to Oklahoma State, where the word on the street was that Justin Blackmon was spending a lot of time at the local watering holes. How did this team not do that? We'll never know. And instead, that is who they were left with. Just 2 seasons of play, and then suspended in his 3rd year for a violation of the league's substance abuse policy.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had
no bueno.
We had the rat scaler on campus, and I was frequent the rat scaler because it was on campus.
Hold on, what was it called? The rapscallion?
It was called the rat
scaler.
The rat scaler. The rat scaler was like a college campus bar type of thing, or whatever. But the one thing about it is that you got to be able to differentiate between having a good time and when it's time for ball, it's time for ball.
Yeah.
And some guys, when they get into the league and they start making money, they can't transition the fact that your street life should never, ever, ever, ever influence what you do on the football field. And we had that in the locker room, both when I was with the Steelers and with the Jaguars. Listen, whatever you did out in the streets, don't get arrested, don't get in any trouble. But when you come in that facility and you cross that line in that locker room, it's about the business of ball. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately for guys like him, they can't differentiate between living the street life and then being about the ball life, which is sad.
You've told the story before, but the hangers-on, the hanger-oners, however you want to describe it, the flock that's around you, they'll bring you down.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, association. Right my dad always said this: association brings on assimilation. Mm-hmm. Who's in your circle? The people that you're in your circle, you're going to have a tendency to act like them. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people that, when they leave up out of place, they always want to transition back to it. No. They're no longer, and you're no longer on that level. So leave that behind.
Yeah.
If you want to be in this league.
It's a good way to put it.
What did your dad tell you?
Association brings on assimilation.
You become.
My dad used to say, don't let the best part of you go down with the worst part of them.
Yeah.
That's
a good way to put it, too.
I
love them all. All right.
All right, so my number 2 is a repeat. The thing with Luke Jokel, honestly, he played 5 seasons in the league. 1 year after the Jags. After the Jags elected to let him go, went to the Seahawks, played guard, and that was it. In 5 seasons in the league, once did he play 16 games.
Mm-hmm. One time. Did not finish that last season.
One time.
Yeah.
Think about that. So not only was he not good, he wasn't available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to stay.
No bueno all around.
Yeah. I'm going to stay and put mine in here before Leon gets to his and do the same thing with the ugly because I have Luke Jokel as my second ugliest. Okay. Second ugliest over time. Now, again, we can come up with different criteria for bad and ugly. And the reason why I put him in the ugly category is because this was the beginning of Dave. This was the beginning
of Dave.
Dave's not here.
I know
Thank
that.
you.
I know that. But this was the beginning of Dave. And he was here, and he stayed here, and the stunk stayed with it. Because this was the beginning of Dave, 2013. And then they went on a roll where not only did they pick inside the top 10, they picked inside the top 5. Now, I'm going to borrow a Gene Smith leftover from the year before and then go into the Dave period, okay? And this is BB, before Balky, in the Dave period. Listen to these selections at which Roger Goodell announced what the Jaguars were going to do. The 5th selection, the 2nd selection, the 3rd selection, the 3rd selection, the 5th selection, the 4th selection. They went 6 straight years without getting out of the top 5. I played these lotto numbers a lot back then, just trying to get lucky off some of the worst luck this team's ever had. They had 6 in the top 5, and Luke Jokel started the Dave era, 2nd overall in 2013, and I think we summed it up.
How did he
well.
keep his job? Like, in this day and age, now
Yes.
in the NFL, if you go 3 years,
By default.
you're done, much
By-
less 7.
By default.
Oh, come on. I don't believe that.
Well, no,
I
they
don't-
brought
I
in
don't believe
TC.
By default.
And I don't really know how he survived that, but they brought in TC,
I'll
and
tell you why.
essentially that was like, well, we're going to guide you.
I'll tell you why. They had Josh Wells as their backup. That's why. All right? He kept the job.
Well, I mean, they got him
this
again,
is
so.
This is the definition of lifeline Jag. Okay?
He's back.
Yeah. This is Jaguar good.
And he's healthy.
Every time I get out, they pull me back in.
523354. Make that your combination at your YMCA locker if you want. But that's
By the way,
where
I think
Jags
Dave is here, technically. I think
Yeah,
he
no,
lives,
Dave still lives in
he
Jack's
lives in
Beach.
Ponte Vedra, right?
Oh, yeah.
Jack's
Yeah,
Beach,
he's in
huh?
Jack's Beach.
Yeah, in the
he's still
off
here.
season, so he's still
Oh,
here.
yeah. Hey, they all fall in love with the place when they come here. Why not?
Dave, if you're listening, we say hello.
Yeah.
We
All
love
right.
you.
All right.
We
Ugly.
promise.
Ugly, ugly, ugly.
Oh, my ugly is your bad.
Okay.
Derek Harvey.
It was so bad.
He was just, I had to put him in the ugly list. I mean, anytime you move up to get a guy, a defensive guy, he gives you 8 sacks in 3 years. That's just stunk.
And you know what they said, Leon, towards the end? I think it might have been Del Rio. He said he's a good big end. He's good against the run. And you can't be a top 10 pick.
No, you can't be top kid.
I mean, I don't want to say it, but what did they say about number 1 from last year?
Yeah.
It's good against the run, if nothing else.
That's scary. That's scary. All right, one more ugly.
Oh, no. My ugly was Justin Blackman.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Mhm.
So go ahead. Put it out there.
Yes. You can check out our Duval Dirty Dozen on social media. And, of course, we will have our number 1 on our list coming up on tomorrow's program, followed by the media mock draft on Wednesday.
Yeah, we're going to roll through the second half of the media mock draft once the Jaguars Today baton is handed to us on Wednesday. It has been rolling for a long time on these airwaves, so we will definitely look forward to it. But we still have our number 1 of Good, Bad, and Ugly tomorrow to put out there before everything is all said and done. All right, Big Search, you're heading out the door?
Yep.
Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
I will.
All right, he is out. We're going to keep it rolling because we still have some draft talk. We haven't brought up the NBA hardly at all.
Yeah, we're going to hit on the NBA coming up next. We also are going to say hello to Patrick Young coming up at 2 o'clock. I do want to give a round of applause, though, for the Jaguars social media team. We're going to hold that applause. We'll come back with it coming up in the next segment because, you know, they did something that I'm not going to lie. It was in retaliation/response to another team in the National Football League in the AFC South that I thought their account was hacked. It turns out it was not. So would like to give kudos to the Jags social team coming up next on XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Prime Time in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Slow your scroll.
Calm down, sit down.
Follow 1010XL on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram by searching 1010XL.
There's so much I love about spring. Warmer weather, flowers blooming, knowing summer is right around the corner, it's hard to choose a favorite. It's a lot like the amazing used selection you'll find at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Mia here, and I'm talking 400 premium pre-owned on the lot. All makes, models, imports, domestics, luxury, you name it, Arlington has it. They even have Toyota certified pre-owned too. So to make your decision a little easier, you also get Arlington's 30-day exchange program with your pre-owned purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it for one that you do. With so many choices, it can be hard to decide. But don't worry, you're going to have a great experience at Arlington. Just check out their reviews. There's a 4.7 out of 5-star rating and over 16,000 Google reviews. So you know my friends at Arlington are going to give you their best. Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. There's just so much to love, you better start shopping now. In person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com.
All Weather Contractors is hiring experienced commercial construction team members now. If you want the most competitive pay for your experience, eager for opportunity and advancement, and if bonuses, benefits, 401k programs, and employee stock ownership opportunities sound appealing, we should talk. We're a full-service multifamily and commercial construction company focused on building better careers for people with a purpose. Build a better career in the commercial construction industry. Apply online at allweathercontractors.com today.
E.T. here, and y'all know how much I like my brown water, but I ain't gonna lie, it gives me headaches sometimes. So my alternative is Brackish Vodka. This gluten-free alternative to Tito's is 100% local, and all monies stays right here in Duval. Not only does Brackish Vodka make you feel good, but when you support Brackish Vodka, you're also helping local charities. Try it side by side with your favorite vodka, and you will taste and smell how natural Brackish Vodka really is. And when you do, remember who sent you. Come on, somebody.
We've seen it 1,000 times. Insurance companies using the same tired excuses not to pay. They'll say you're really not hurt, or that your injury is from an old accident. That's why it's so important to hire a law firm who has their own medical experts, who know how to fight excuses with facts. When they bring excuses, we bring the truth. And truth is power. Farah and Farah. Here for you, here for good. Jacksonville.
This is Hayes Carline for Island Wing Company, located on Southside near Tinseltown, and our new location at Bartram Park in St. Johns County. Two great locations offering the ultimate sports bar experience where you can stick to healthy options. Island Wing Company has a wide selection of fryer-free food. The wings are baked, not fried, with so many awesome flavors to choose from. You can also get delicious salmon, tuna, flatbreads, and tacos. With tons of spectacular TVs, dog-friendly patios, and 2 daily happy hours, Island Wings can't be beat.
If your lawn is not as green as you'd like, it's time to go orange by calling Orange Environmental Services, Jacksonville's highest quality pest control for over 45 years. Frank Frangie here. I've trusted Orange Environmental to take care of our home's pest control needs for years. With the Orange Shield Protection Plan for your home or office, you can relax knowing Orange Environmental will handle pest control, termite control, and mosquito control. Orange Environmental has been giving Northeast Florida peace of mind from bug problems since 1972. Call them today at 272-3284.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 24th, 1962, LA Dodgers pitcher Sandy Koufax's second career 18 strikeout game took place in a 10-2 win over the Cubs.
Hey folks, you ever search why Shark Coatings is the best? Well, one of the many reasons is our polyurea. We don't just buy it from anyone who has it in stock. We custom blend ours, specializing between summer and winter blend, providing you with the best product for our area. After grinding the concrete, that polyurea will form a permanent bond at the molecular level and will not pull away like epoxy. With Shark Coatings, not only will your garage look awesome, but your pool deck, patio, or driveway will too. See how Shark Coatings can make a difference for you. Call, click, or text today.
This draft preview is brought to you by Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeast Florida and Safe Harbor Seafood. Clemson pass rusher Miles Murphy has slipped in some media boards due to an offseason hamstring injury. The former top recruit and freshman All-American is a prototypical defensive end in a four-man front, but can also stand up in a 3-4, similar to Trayvon Walker. Miles Murphy could be a reliable run defender while offering a high floor and ceiling as a pass rusher.
April is Head and Neck Cancer Awareness Month. If caught early, this disease can be treated effectively. So take control of your health with the experts at Ackerman Cancer Center. Don't delay, get screened for any symptoms. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Hard to believe that 2023 is here. I'm Kevin with Gutter Helmet and Armor Guard Exteriors. The home improvement supply chain has been sketchy at best. Our local manufacturers continue to deliver on time, from gutters to gutter protection, retractable awnings and screens, replacement windows, and glass and ice. Start your home improvement project now and receive 18 months, zero interest, and no money down. But you have to call now, 904-906-8669.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
We got plenty of love on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, on our Good, Bad, and Ugly YouTube channel. You definitely could chime in as well. Let us know what you think. It's come down to the crunch time, and, through that little exercise that we just had, I hope the next decade of decision-making, and it might be Balky, it might be somebody else, but let's hope the next decade brings fortune instead of fail. That's really the best way to put it.
That's very profound, Josie. Kind of like the tweet the Houston Texans
give that
sent.
To us.
Yeah,
I was reading. I'm like, I like this.
So with the Cam Newton font, although in the English language, not with the various characters and what have you, they send out a tweet this morning with a graphic with text on it, and the caption is simply "forward." Here is what the text on the graphic reads. Failure is not an option. It's a necessity. Every misstep is a lesson learned. Every setback a chance to grow stronger. embrace the struggle, and become unstoppable. And it appears to me, and you two can pull up the tweet, JJ, you as well can pull this up and try to decipher what player or what position player is behind the text, because it's got a darker.
I'll tell you what I immediately
it looks
thought.
like a wide receiver, but I can't really tell.
Well, all right, so I can't necessarily tell who it is, but I'll just tell you what I immediately thought. And I this may be a complete and total reach, is that when it says forward, they're going a year removed, maybe even 2 years removed from Deshaun Watson being a superstar with what ultimately led to his demise, trouble away from the football field. And now they've got Mr. Clean coming into town. So that's how I read it. Forward.
Mr. Clean is Davis Mills?
Bryce Young.
The Texans?
Yeah. If it's C.J. Stroud, if it's Bryce Young, whomever.
So you think they're still going quarterback?
I mean, I can't imagine. Like, Will Anderson does make some sense, but you just mentioned Davis Mills. Can you? I can't imagine them going another year post Deshaun Watson.
Embrace the struggle and
Okay.
become unstoppable.
Would this be 3 straight years of no Deshaun? Okay, because 1 year he sat. This past year he went up to Cleveland, and then you would go 1 more year. Okay, I don't know how Nick Caserio keeps his job. They have gone through 3 different head coaches. I just don't understand why they would do that.
Well, your payoff is Caleb Williams. That's why you do it.
Every setback is a chance to grow stronger.
Right, but you think to yourself,
Every loss.
You think to yourself, okay, you can wait it out for Caleb Williams and all this kind of stuff. Well, they waited it out, and they had the number 2 pick this year, and they
Could have had Bryce if they hadn't won that last game.
Exactly, and they went back and forth trying to figure out who was going to win that last
That was
game.
Lovey's parting gift, by the way.
Yeah, it was. Who was it? Who started at the end for Indianapolis? Was it did Foles?
No, Foles wasn't starting at that
Ellinger,
point.
wasn't it?
It was. I know Ellinger went
No,
in,
it was
then
somebody
Matt
else
Ryan went
ended up.
back
I'm
in,
gonna look it up.
and then I thought there was somebody else that ended up starting at the end. Bottom line is, like Mia just said, don't win that last game. And it was Chicago, Houston, Indy, all of them kind of battling at that point, trying to figure out, who was going to be the top pick.
Here is the reason.
And then Carolina traded into.
Even beyond the, it was Ellinger, by the way.
It was
who
Ellinger,
started, yeah.
okay.
Even beyond the smoke of the Texans potentially taking a defensive player at 2 and not a quarterback. The other part of this, and I listened to a lot of different podcasts over the weekend, and they made a really good point, which is DeMeco Ryans is coming from San Francisco, where, sure, Jimmy Garoppolo, good quarterback. Brock Purdy, good quarterback. Top 5 quarterback in the league, though? No. Game managers.
Heck no. Yeah.
And so, but San Francisco has picked in the top 10 several times in the last 5 to 7 years. And what have they
picked defensive
picked?
guys?
Defensive
they went
guys.
DeForest Buckner. They went Bosa.
They also took a quarterback.
Yeah.
At number 3.
That's true.
Yeah.
And they still have
reached up.
succeeded
Yeah.
in spite of that quarterback without him even playing.
Yeah, but
I'm
they
just
reached
saying,
up
if your
for
point is that they're not drafting quarterbacks, they literally did.
Yeah,
No.
that's true. They did do that. And then the other part of it is that when you think of what DeMeco Ryans did, he was Rookie of the year Houston selected Mario Williams, number 1. He made Rookie of the Year that year. And so Will Anderson, I guess you have to come down to the analysis. Is he a better football player that will impact our games and our success long-term more than the most important position, which is C.J. Stroud? And so I'm just trying to figure out whether they're, exactly what they're saying. You can't go 3 years post Deshaun Watson under center.
I mean, the 76ers did in basketball.
And expect
Trust
to actually,
the process.
Yeah, expect to actually survive and succeed.
And so the Jags did a subtweet
Mhm.
for you kids out there, the Texans. They posted in the similar font, in a similar
that's
color
pretty funny.
scheme. They posted Tyson Campbell after the pick 6 against the Texans, the picture of him riding the Bronco. And then the caption is on the text is it was always the Jags.
Yeah, you got to love that because
Fantastic.
there are definitely some
Good job, social team. Proud of you.
that went in on Houston big time. This is a bad time to have an existential crisis. One of the comments from it, but I don't know where they're going. I think they might be making you think. All right, so Matt, what would attract traffic, phone calls, inquiries, offers to move up to that number 2 overall pick? The idea that you're going to take Will Anderson or the idea that you're going to take C.J. Stroud?
I mean, I can't imagine why someone would trade up to take Will Anderson.
I agree.
If someone's trading up to 2 or 3 or 4, it's for a quarterback.
Right. So if they're making you think that Will Anderson might be the guy, or at least that's what has become the betting favorite, then is that indeed the truth? Are they really going in that direction? Because D'Amico is defense. I totally get it. And what Mia just said makes sense. Even though they did trade up to get Trey Lance, they've succeeded with a less higher drafted quarterback, including Mr. Irrelevant. But that's the position. The position.
I mean, you could trade up for Will Anderson. I don't know that he's. I mean, is he Myles Garrett? I don't think he is, right? I think
I don't
you
know.
probably would trade up for Myles Garrett,
Yeah,
right?
Myles Garrett's a big man,
right?
That super strong with a lot of
Right,
moves.
right.
I still look at Will Anderson just a little, I don't know, half a head shorter,
a little bit below.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all.
So
I don't think you trade up for him. I don't think you trade up for any other player.
yeah. So why
in the
wouldn't
top
they
five.
put the smokescreen out that they want a C.J. Stroud, or they are in love with Levis, and maybe get someone in Indianapolis, or
Maybe they're trying to
whomever.
get their fans ready for another season of losing.
Yeah, I can't imagine. If you're going, look, I was all for the master plan. That was over one season of scarring that you knew what you were going to get at the end in Trevor. But I can't imagine going 3 years, which is what they've done, will have done, if they go all the way through this year. That's
and
a
there's
disaster.
no lock that you're going to get the first pick, or
No, not with where
that's
where
not
Matt
how
is.
it works in this
There's
league.
no lock. Caleb Williams doesn't get hurt, or Drake May doesn't get hurt, or they both don't get hurt.
Or that he is still the presumptive number one at the end of the season.
Yeah, how many times have we seen
We've
the
seen
guy
that.
who is supposed to be the number one pick is a
Oh, yeah.
nobody?
Yeah, 100% on that. So, yeah, it's just so tough to figure it out. Now, look, I like them being the dumpster fire. That is great.
I would love to see Davis Mills run it back for a few more years.
Keep going, man, because the AFC South is in Duval now. We've got the heavyweight championship belt of the AFC South for now. Looking at a 9-10 win season at a minimum based on the way the schedule's going to fall. But, yeah, you got to make sure if they can keep screwing it up, keep screwing it up. I'll be okay with that. All right, real quick, because we're going to say hello to Pat Young in the 2 o'clock hour right at the top. He's going to give us all the details on this what I think will be an unbelievable fundraiser and awareness project that they just announced. And we'll talk a little hoop with him as well. Draymond Green came back into that rotation last night, yesterday, JJ, with really in position to take control of a basketball game, take ownership of what he did, sat on the bench, did not start, and as great as De'Aaron Fox has been, Draymond played a little offense, defended well, stopped De'Aaron Fox, frustrated him a little bit, and they came away with a win. They easily could have blown that game at the end, but they came away with the win.
I like how you gave the Jags 10-win minimum, by the way.
Yeah, I did. 10 wins.
I think the story of the game was Steph at the end. That was really stupid. I mean, I'd never
Timeout
see
when
that
there's
happening,
he went
honestly.
Chris Webber.
Exactly. And so, they only were up 5, I think?
Yeah,
5, and there's 30-some seconds left. Calls the timeout. They don't have. And, the game was in the bag, okay? They end up making a 3 and the free throw. 1-point game. They get the ball back. They, miss a 3, a wide-open 3 at the end. They should have won that game. If they win that game, they're up 3-1 going back home.
Yeah,
now I think they're going to lose the series.
Well, you can go up to flat line, get back to a 2-2 situation, go home, think you might have the upper hand in the next game, but they're starting to doubt themselves a little bit because beyond De'Aaron Fox, yes, there are some playmakers, but not as many, and you're starting to see, obviously, what, the Curry effect in the postseason, what he can do.
And like you said, Draymond was a beast.
Yeah, he was.
Sabonis is a great offensive player, but he really has looked very pedestrian when Draymond's been just destroying him down low on defense.
Yeah, and
the sternum isn't there.
Yeah,
shows exactly
no
he's
chest.
hurt.
The sternum
His
is
ribs
concussed.
are broken.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
And he didn't have to step on him.
Contusion. So
Yeah.
contused. Excuse me.
He didn't have to step on him this time. He just figuratively
They
stepped
still have
on
to
him.
win a game in Sacramento. You guys know
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
still
gonna be
2-2
easy.
series.
Yeah, and there's just the beautiful thing is that just the psychology of a series. And if you go back, what was the game 3? I'm trying to think of what night that was. If that was
Wednesday
Friday.
or
It would've been-
Thursday.
Saturday was game 1.
Yeah,
so
so
then
it would've been Thursday
Wednesday.
night. Yeah.
No, Wednesday was game 2, so it would have been Friday. I
That was
think.
the Lakers, yeah.
Oh, you're talking
No,
the Lakers?
No,
you're
I'm
talking
trying
about
to
the Kings Warriors?
I'm trying to remember the marquee game that night.
Yeah, Friday was game 3. Yeah.
Friday was. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's when they really took control. Loud house, and it was back and forth.
Which you knew they would. You knew they'd win Game 3 big time, even without Draymond.
Exactly.
There.
That's why I think this next one is critical for the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have to win in Sacramento in this game.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're doing it in 7.
Yeah. Well, we've already said it hadn't happened before when you're down 0-2. So we'll see whether or not they can
I would
do
be
it.
shocked if this doesn't go 7.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys a question that a buddy of mine and I were talking about this morning, and I'm curious your take. 3 young, quote-unquote, up-and-coming teams. For the next 5 years, you only get to keep one of them. Grizzlies, Kings, Timberwolves. Who are you picking?
You know, Minnesota has admittedly surprised me because they were in the play-in. They lost to L.A. They get Rudy back. You thought, whatever, they're not going to win anyway. They've done okay.
I think Ant's a dog, but I question, Cat around him, and then who else is there?
I think the Grizzlies have kind of gotten
Conley's like in his almost 40s.
A little old all of a sudden.
I know, because I just think Cat, like the wear and tear on Karl Anthony Towns,
it's
starting to show.
I would probably just take Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, because he
over anybody else.
He went off.
Even though De'Aaron Fox has been amazing.
Yeah, he really has.
He's finally become.
But I still like the team of. And Keegan Bradley as well, but I still like the team of Keegan Murray.
And by the way,
Keegan Bradley's great too on the golf course.
But Murray and them are really fun to watch.
Oh
absolutely.
Yeah, and the thing is
I hope
too,
they win that series.
I mean, outside of Barnes, like they're all young dudes, and what's impressive is like Herter they had to sign. They traded for Malik Monk, and that was gonna be my question for you, JJ. How much of Fox like finally coming to true form is you think him having Malik back?
And they traded what's his name away to Indiana.
Oklahoma.
I forget.
Yeah, Oklahoma.
No, he's with the
Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
first a bonus. So De'Aaron Fox sort of has more room, has the ball more. That was sort of weird last year. I actually thought they traded the better player at first.
Me too.
But De'Aaron Fox has been so good this year. I'm regretting that.
But honestly, if we're trying to get to the core of this, if you build around.
Yeah,
Dylan
which are the
Brooks.
3? So you would take the Grizzlies.
Yes.
Yeah,
even though I think they're done with this. This series is a wrap. The Lakers are going to win.
But you build around Dylan Brooks. I think that's really the message here that we need to put out there.
Oh, listen, he's a builder. Maybe him and Arden Key share keys to the city together.
He is the guy. He's the core. Let's just make this the 10-10 take. We shouldn't, but we will, okay?
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
Beautiful settings at Sonny's. You got the bar area. You got them smoking it slow. You've got the all-you-can-eat ribs. You just got so much that you can count on. Head on into any one of your area Sonny's and enjoy some delicious slow-smoked barbecue. But what has happened in a short amount of time, this is not slow. This has happened in about a couple of weeks. There are too many guys taking shots at the shorts, okay? Too many guys taking shots at the shorts. This has to stop. So listen, if you're out there teaching your youngster, any of you guys think you're going to be, I don't know, a McDonald's All-American, then you're going to go on to NBA greatness, stop it with the shots to the shorts, okay? Everyone comes away with, that could happen to anybody. That wasn't intentional. Yet, we got James Harden getting ejected because he's popping someone in the shorts. We got Joel Embiid trying to kick someone in the shorts. We've got Brooks taking a shot at LeBron's lower. You can't do that.
Just to be fair, you're talking about the Jubilees, not
Yes.
about the
Exactly.
shorts. Okay.
Stop it.
I'm just letting
with
everybody
the
know what
shorts,
you're talking
okay?
about, right?
This is the critical
family
area.
jewels.
Yes, I was going to say, yeah.
I mean, this is the
The
critical
crown jewels.
area, all right? And it does not need to be.
It's a critical area.
It's a critical
It's a
area.
dirty play.
Yeah.
I can't believe how many times we've seen it in the last week. Like Joe said, it's crazy.
A little bit of an epidemic
Yeah.
right now. So stop it.
Plus,
That's
why
the
do you
10-10
why
take.
do you want your hand going there anyway in
I
the
don't
first
know.
place?
And here's the thing. Maybe back in the day, like I remember going and watching, either AAU basketball, whatever. You can get away with certain things at a very young age. There aren't cameras everywhere. Okay?
Yeah, not every play is being reviewed
Yeah.
9
Hey,
times.
This is we're talking technology, man. You could have gotten away with it back in the SD world. Oh no, not in the HD world. Stop it already.
5K.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's say hello to Pat Young. He's got a annual, what we hope will be a very successful and annual event. He will give you all the details as he continues to raise money for those with spinal cord injuries. Our man Patrick Young, Gator Great, Providence Pride. He is coming up on XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Anytime Fitness Sawgrass is the preferred gym of yours truly, Mia O'Brien. Strengthen everything from calves to confidence.
Covering the Jaguars in every day that ends in Y. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. 1010XL.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Got a septic tank at your home or business? Give Duck Duck Rooter a call today to schedule your pump out service. From septic pump outs, inspections, to new septic tank and drain field installations, we are Northeast Florida's only master septic contractor. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? Regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for unlimited time, your consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 904-664-8217.
Coming through in the clutch. David Garrard for Clearwater Seamless Gutters. You all know Clearwater installed my sprinklers, but recently John Haney's Clearwater Gutter Division installed beautiful 6-inch seamless gutters for my home in Jacks Beach, and they work great.
Dave, that's awesome to hear. Now jump in. We're fixing to sing.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage too.
Hey Duval, the pick is in, and the Jaguars select you to join them at Daly's Place Thursday, April 27th for the official 2023 Duval Draft Party presented by Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. The party starts at 7 and includes live coverage of the NFL Draft, guest appearances by Jaguars players and coaches, and more. Don't let this train leave the station without you. Claim your tickets today at Jaguars.com/official draft party. The best place to watch the draft is here.
Beaches Jewelry and Pawn is ready to help. If you need extra cash or a quick loan, Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash in hand. They also love to buy items of value. They need gold, silver coins, and flatware, jewelry, guitars, and of course, guns.
Serving the First Coast for over 20 years, Instant Keys offers honest, professional locksmith service for the replacement of lost, stolen, or broken keys and remotes. Get dealer-level service at a fraction of the time and cost. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Youth sports are getting back into full swing, so you know what that means. Custom Yetis so dads can keep their beer or sodas cold. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all. The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Attention golfers, Hidden Hills Golf Club has become an attractive destination for golfers all over North Florida. You too will enjoy our classic Arnold Palmer design that'll test your game and keep you coming back. Book a tee time today at hiddenhillsgc.com.
Cheer on your Jacksonville Sharks Sunday, April 30th, 4 o'clock at the ViStar Arena, and see the Sharks smash their in-state rivals, the Orlando Predators. With tickets as low as $15, you can't find this kind of family affordable fun anywhere else. Join us for our exclusive movie night. Strut down the red carpet. Pose for the paparazzi. Shark Tank Sunday, April 30th, 4 o'clock at the ViStar Memorial Arena. For tickets as low as $15, call 904-621-0700 or check out jacksharks.com. Come dressed to impress. Fins up.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. Come to Bowden Eye for all your eye care needs. Hicken here. Did you know that diabetes is a leading cause of blindness and affects up to 34 million Americans? Please don't take diabetes lightly. If you have diabetes, see your favorite Bowden Eye doc and save your vision. Bowden Eye is dedicated to the protection and preservation of the treasured gift of sight. Bowden Eye & Associates. Visit today for your personal consultation. Keeping the First Coast focused. New location now open off County Road 210 in St. Johns County.
'Tis the season to be cool. Florida Home AC wants to make sure you're not cooked like a Christmas goose this summer. Make sure your AC unit is ready for the heat, and if it's time to look at replacement, look for quality and value. You'll get that from Florida Home AC. And right now, take advantage of $1,750 off a brand new heating and AC unit. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com for all the details and trust a company that will always keep you cool. Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update brought to you by Woody's Barbecue. I'm Taylor Dahl for 1010XL. Draft week is here now, just 4 days away from the 2023 NFL Draft as the Jaguars select 24th this year after a postseason run. Tony Pauline joined Jaguars Today this morning and shared his thoughts on who he has heard the Jaguars may covet at number 24.
The intel's right, but is right on the money. But what I heard was the 3 defensive players. Okay. And I'll get into that they really covet are Lucas Van Ness, Devin Weatherspoon, and the aforementioned Deontay Banks.
Visit 1010XL.com for more. In addition, in the most recent Peter King mock draft, he has the Jaguars selecting Iowa edge Lucas Van Ness with that first-round pick. 75 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp are brought to you by Bueller Air Condition. Stay cooler with Bueller.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the Accident Attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Our man Patrick Young, he is a go-to guy on a number of different levels, basketball being just one of them. And he's got a great event coming up. But let's just say welcome first. Patrick, how are you, buddy?
Joe, Matt, Mia, what is happening to my 3 favorite people? I love y'all. And so always great to be here with you all.
Hey, we love it. We always want you in studio, but on the phone is the second best thing. We need to talk some hoops with you because we were just wrapping up a little NBA talk. But I want to –
Yep, I've been watching.
Huh? You've been watching?
I've been watching.
Oh, yeah.
I've been watching.
All right, so I just did a little sidebar, and we'll just go straight to it because I want to bring up your event. But I just did a little sidebar. Patrick, these guys are taking pot shots at the critical area from, all of a sudden the last handful of days, Dylan Brooks takes a shot at LeBron James in the shorts. James Harden got kicked out for taking a shot in the shorts.
Yeah.
What is going on with these guys?
Man, I
feel
it's so weird, man. There's no explanation that I can foresee. I didn't think the Harden one prompted an ejection.
Okay.
It seems so nonchalant and accidental. I think Dylan Brooks himself, it seemed like he was trying to get the basketball. Like you see the timing that it happened on the behind the back with LeBron. I mean, there's. You know what it is, Joe? These guys are now really starting to lock in because they're thinking about those checks you get when you advance. So they're really trying to lock in, solidify that next contract, make themselves relevant. I think that's gotta. It's been chippy. It's been chippy.
For sure.
And I do like that dynamic to it because now I don't like nobody watches regular season NBA, but. Now seeing that these guys are really going out there trying to get stuff done, really trying to compete, you get a chance like De'Aaron Fox. He's been probably one of my favorite guys to watch. I had no idea that he is like getting to that superstar level. He's a stud. He's so good.
So, Pat, I'll ask you the same question I just asked the boys here. You can only pick one. 3 young up-and-coming teams, the T-Wolves, the Grizzlies, or the Kings. You can have one of them for the next 5 years. Which of the 3?
Ooh. I think I'll go with the Kings because I didn't realize Murray. I didn't realize Murray was there, and hey guys, they have a really good core. Obviously, the West is really difficult, but I'd run with the Kings after what I've seen how they've played these 4 games with the Warriors. I feel really good about them.
So, Patrick, I said this earlier. I want to get your thoughts on it. If the Warriors don't win Game 5 in Sacramento, I don't think they're going to get 7. Like, this has got to be where they get a game, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I wish there was a way that, if
Kings win the home court, you win all the games on home court, there was a way to have a neutral field game, a neutral court game for that Game 7. Obviously, it would never happen, but I would just love to see it, to take that dynamic out. But, I mean, the Kings had every chance to win Game 4. The Warriors, I didn't realize the Kings shot the ball so well and had so many weapons. But, if the Warriors can't get one here on the road, they're not defending at an elite level, and it's hard. These guys can really score the ball. De'Aaron Fox is a stud, clutch player of the year. But if they can't get stops, I think they're not going to be able to make enough shots to advance. And I hate to see it because I love Steph Curry. I love Steph.
Oh, yeah.
But, best team's got to advance.
Yeah, hard to imagine defenders getting ousted in the first round. All right, so we'll get back to that if we can. I got to sneak a Jaguar thought in on you too, but let's give people the big announcement. The Patrick Young Foundation. Patrick from right here in Jacksonville still makes his home here. Providence Star, Gator Star. You can see him on the SEC Network during basketball season. But you made the announcement that you have got a really cool event coming up, the Ultimate Obstacle Course. So give folks some of the details.
Yeah, it was so crazy, Joe, when I was working with my team, with Michelle Testori and
did we lose you just
May
for a
have
second?
lost him briefly there.
Yeah.
Dead zone in the car, perhaps?
Yep. Hopefully we'll get
we
your
know
cell.
Patrick's back up and driving.
Yep. Hopefully we'll get your cell back up. PY. All right, we'll get him back.
We'll get him back, yeah.
So as I'm looking at it, it's July 1st, and it's going to come up fast, and it says get ready to get dirty as you experience the ultimate obstacle race, and it's specifically put together for the Patrick Young Foundation, an inclusive course, pushes able-bodied and adaptive athletes as they take on a 5K course and 10-plus obstacles together as a team. You got the wall climb, Thor's pull, axe throw, low crawl, rope climb. This is pretty neat. And so all the details, all you have to do is go py4foundation.org, patrickyoungfoundation.org.
Sounds like we're getting Patrick back on the line, but a little bit more about the actual date and logistics. Registration closes Friday, June 30th for an event, which is, of course, on July 1st, Saturday, and it's going to be down in the AUG, Joe. So let's ask Patrick Young a little bit more about, he told us the inspiration for this event, but how does this come to be, Patrick?
Yeah, sorry about, I don't know what happened. The call just dropped. But, when I was going through my own personal journey with my rehab, I'm still in the middle of it, but just the initial phases, I just realized, one, healthcare is really expensive. And also, secondly, I think even more important than the finances is a deficit created in people thinking about hope and purpose and enjoying their life and feeling that they can become whole once again. And my inspiration was like, I want to create an event where we can create an atmosphere like that. So it's an all-inclusive, adaptive obstacle course, meant to be challenging but not impossible. There's obviously people that are able-bodied can come in. There's going to be an elite level where you can compete through this thing and win money. But the heart of it for me and for the majority of people that are getting out there, being able to help somebody get through this obstacle course, whether they're dealing with blindness, Down syndrome, loss of limb, being able to partake in this just process of unity with other human beings, I just think it's so powerful, especially in this world that we live in now. So I can't wait to see what happens. I think it's going to be eventually, I'm praying that it'll be equivalent to Night to Shine in its own way, Tebow's event, but we're going to see.
Patrick, how much has your life expanded? Just since your event, how much has your knowledge of other things in the world just completely changed because of it?
Oh man, it's completely changed and opened up. One of my best friends, he mentioned this to me. Just that in his space in his life, outside of me, he doesn't know about anybody else really that's in a wheelchair or in this kind of phase or part of their life, and I get that, because you oftentimes don't get into those spaces where you would see a lot of people. And now, when I'm going to Brooks Rehab, when I'm going to places like that, like I get to see people like that all the time, and realizing that these people that have gone through, like everyone has their own struggles, but I oftentimes get so motivated by seeing people come through and conquer their goals and not complaining and being able, like, people there at Brooks lift me up so much, and I try to do the same when I'm there. But, I mean, I couldn't imagine going through any of this, first off, without my faith, and secondly, without my wife and my family, just their support and love and patience with me through all this, because it's a process. It's definitely a process, and it is hard, really hard to do all of this alone. So I just really want to help people not go through all of this alone.
Yeah, it's so critical to have a support group around you, believe in yourself, have them help believe and keep pushing. So you can go to the Patrick Young Foundation. That's real easy to Google, but it's also PY4, Patrick Young, PY4foundation.org, and you can check out all the details July 1st. And it's a really cool one, and you can get behind it with the sponsorship level, and you can participate. You can do everything. So let's remind
we can
them.
take looking for volunteers as well. Volunteers, all that stuff. So you can register to volunteer. You can register to be a participant. Like, we want anybody and everybody to come out. If you feel moved don't miss this event. It's
funny, Patrick, you mentioned Michelle Tesori before, who is very much a giver. Our buddy Martin Buckley, Mark Lowry, I just heard from. All these guys are getting behind you and helping as much as they can.
Yeah, they're some of my favorite people in the whole world. I couldn't do it without them.
All right, now one of your other favorite things, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what are they going to do on the draft Thursday night? Because we have been going through our good, bad, and ugly list with some of the bad draft picks, the ugly draft picks. And Patrick is a diehard Duval or a diehard Jaguar. And you even texted me and said, bro, where's Justin Blackmon? He should be moved up in this list. So you've been following along just like everybody else.
Dang, I completely forgot about him. Yeah, that was a pick. Man. Where does Telvin Smith fall in?
That's true.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, he could have been great, but because of the unfulfilled potential and everything afterwards, he's got to be in the category as a waste of a pick. But yeah, I'm so glad I tuned in when I did to that station, because as soon as I did, I'm just thinking, and it's nothing personal. Obviously, because the game is a business, and we love our sports, and we want to see our team do well. But if you don't get the job done, you should be held accountable. Luke Jokel, Taven Bryan, Blaine, Gabbert, those guys didn't get the job done with the level of expectation that was shown through how high they were drafted. And it just sucks you can't get them back. You can't get those picks back, and just hope that the franchise can do a much better job. This is how you build a team to win.
Exactly.
Through the draft.
And speaking of building teams, Patrick, before we let you go, I do want to ask about your alma mater and what Todd Golden is building down there in Gainesville. Obviously, we know they said goodbye to some players, but what do you make of their work so far in the transfer portal and putting this 2023-2024 team together?
Well, it seems like we do have there's a replacement for Colin Castleton, the big kid out of Marshall. I don't know if he's going to be as skilled, but I got to do my research to kind of follow up and see. It's a tough job. I appreciate that the university has allowed me the opportunity to be a part of their Florida Victorious initiative. And I love that it's community-based as well, that there's not a loss in the mindset of helping these athletes to keep that philanthropic perspective through all this as they're making money and whatnot. But it's hard, man. I have so much empathy for Coach Golden. Yes, it's possible to build a team that can win right away, but if you don't have nowadays the financial backing, it's hard to get the right guys to fill your mold and get done what you want to get done. But it's going to be interesting. Completely new team. Happy that Kugel's back, Will Richards back. Those are going to be pivotal pieces to this team. They can't be as bad as last year. I think they can be better than 16 and 17.
We can all hope, right?
Yeah.
All right.
We can all hope.
One more time on the Conquer the Course event. It's July 1. Give us a quick breakdown again.
It's a 1.5 mile obstacle course. It's going to have 15 obstacles on it, I believe. I could be wrong. But you go through it twice. You can go through it once. You can go through it twice. Man, it's going to be so much energy, and I hope it doesn't rain. I hope it's not too hot. Come hydrated. We need sponsors to get this thing going. Sponsors help us to fulfill the grants to get money into the hands of people that need help. But this event is meant not only to affect the lives that are going to be touched through finances, but the people that come to participate, to push yourself to overcome these challenges, to help people through these challenges that they face. Because, hey, let's think about it in life. Everybody is going through something at some point, and to just take the time to forget about yourself and help somebody else to overcome. I mean, there's nothing more powerful than that, and that's what we're going to cultivate through this event.
Yeah, it's huge. It really is. Don't forget, you can search Patrick Young Foundation. You can reach out to us. We'll help you get in touch with the volunteer crew, and it's py4foundation.org. Real quick, it's an ultimate Viking obstacle course. What does Hildervat mean? What does that mean?
Oh, man, you put me on the spot. Well, the people that run it, they are some of the most loving, amazing. Dan and Renee, they are fantastic. I don't know what it means behind it, but yeah, that's a great question. But think, for you guys that are listening, think of like Spartan Race and those type of things. They're a company that they do their own thing, create their own courses. A lot of things they do on the beach, but we're not going to be on the beach because that'll be really hard for people in wheelchairs. We're going to be out there near World Golf Village. We got 65 acres to work with. We're not going to use all of those, obviously, but it's going to be hopefully we got some overcast, on that day.
Right.
And
right.
A little bit. We'll see.
There's an axe throw in there, too, I see, Patrick.
Oh, yeah.
An axe throw.
I got it all.
Wow.
Yes, there's an axe throw. Absolutely.
All right. Well, listen, we'll keep reminding people, and we'll get them to the py4foundation.org. Search Patrick Young Foundation. Find out how you can help, how you can participate. And it's coming up July 1, and we'll visit with you again as we get closer and remind people.
Absolutely.
Thank
you guys so much.
Thank
Love
you very
all
much.
so
Pat.
much.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Patrick.
That's just so good. Hildervat, I guess if they call it a Viking, and it's called Water Battle, is what
Did you say Hildervat?
Yeah, Hildervat.
Sounds like one of those summer German beers.
Yeah, there might be a big chant, but it's a Viking phrase, so it might be appropriate to have that. We'll have some chant and cheer before it's all said and done. It's XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. High school, college, and pro.
As good as it gets.
Your home for the most play-by-play is 1010XL. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL. Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing.
Florida Gator baseball lose their first series of the season after getting swept by number 6 Gamecocks. Florida battled for 9 innings on Saturday, but ultimately dropped Game 3, 7-5. Cade Curlin with a solid game, going 2 for 4, 2 runs and 2 RBIs. Also announced over the weekend, Florida wide receiver Xavier Henderson has officially entered the NCAA transfer portal.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie, and I want to thank Coach Ellen and the team at Darley's for providing all the plumbing work for a brand new walk-off charities building that's being built. Being a San Souci guy, I've known the team at Darley's for years. They're a company I trust for my plumbing needs, and you can too.
Thanks for those kind words, Frank. At Darley's Plumbing, we don't just do residential house calls. We're your first draft pick for commercial business plumbing too. Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts.
This is head coach Matthew Driscoll from the UNF men's basketball team. When our players suffer an orthopedic injury, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists gets our players back on the court pain-free.
We appreciate the endorsements from our high school and college coaches. This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
At Andy's Automotive and Truck Services, they know that your company's fleet is more than just a bunch of cars and trucks. It's your livelihood, your reputation, your pride. So when you need routine fleet maintenance or emergency repairs, Andy's offers after-hours and mobile service to minimize your downtime and keep your fleet running like new. While you care for your employees and customers, rest assured Andy's Automotive will take care of your fleet. Visit the team at andysats.com.
Starting April 26th, the annual Jacksonville RV Stadium Show is back with the Duval Draft Night Experience. This is the place for the largest selection of new and used RVs, and we'll even buy yours. Factory reps will be on site for this 5-day-only factory-authorized RV sale. And you have the chance to win Jaguars season tickets, signed merch, and a free RV rental. The Jacksonville RV Stadium Show from April 26th to the 30th. Sponsored by Travel Camp RV, official RV dealer of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hard to believe that 2023 is here. I'm Kevin with Gutter Helmet and Armor Guard Exteriors. The home improvement supply chain has been sketchy at best. Our local manufacturers continue to deliver on time, from gutters to gutter protection, retractable awnings and screens, replacement windows, and glass and ice. Start your home improvement project now and receive 18 months zero interest and no money down. But you have to call now, 904-906-8669.
No games, no problem.
That's the crazy part.
Football season's always in season on Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and E.T.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control. Look, warmer weather now means mosquito, flea, and tick season is here. These pests are out for blood, but you don't have to let them win. Protect your home and family with Kingfish Pest Control. As a Kingfish customer myself, I know their products are safe for kids and pets. Plus, with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can relax knowing your yard is pest-free. Call today, mention the Jags to receive 10% off your initial service. That's Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial. We're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
There's a new butcher in town. We're talking a vacuum marinating, sausage grinding, take and bake siding, value pricing, full service butcher. And our name is Southern Steer.
Now open in Ortega. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Malfunctions in your electrical panel can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
8 Sparky. Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous, don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Monday. It's Monday. It doesn't have to feel like a Monday.
No.
We had a great sports weekend. We have NFL draft ahead of us this week, boys. It's going to feel like the weekend hits a little early. You know, that NFL draft kicking off on Thursday.
I could do the Modelo Yellow all week.
We're going to have the media mock draft on Wednesday.
Yep.
Not going to feel like it's, the longest week
Well,
ever.
it's it used to be your Christmas if you were a Jaguar fan, because this was the best prize, present, feeling, whatever, that you could get, because once the season arrived, well, it didn't go so well. But now you got a season of Christmas moments every Sunday and a couple of Saturday nights late in the season. So those were all special. This one, sit back. Like, I want to know the difference between, as we get closer to Thursday, the difference in how a fan's going to prepare for the draft this year versus the last handful of years, because they've been picking, by 9 o'clock, everything was done. And they didn't know last year that they were trading back in the first round. So we'll get some fans' reaction on that.
Before we take a look at the weekend that was, I don't want to do a that for this because there's been multiple that's today, but Matt, I'm curious, any insight you may have. Colorado, first spring game under Dion on Saturday on ESPN. They have the whole game day crew there. It's snowing. They packed the place. And now they've had multiple players enter the transfer portal today.
Up and out.
So Colorado signed 29 players from the portal, and they're going to go after more. Because
that's why they're running the other ones out.
They're running guys out, and they're adding guys. Is basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised. I think what happened is you saw, I think 3 guys have left. Is that right? Total
No,
now?
yeah, another one just left,
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
So I think what happened is those guys realized they were going to be on ESPN. Like I told you guys this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only school, including Alabama, Georgia, all of them, the only school that had their spring game on ESPN, on the
You
main
don't
network.
think Prime
okay?
moves the meter?
He does. But I think those guys knew it. They were going to try and ball out in that spring game, which the one receiver did, and then get in the portal.
Oh yeah.
And then
yeah.
get as
But-
much NIL money as they can.
Yeah, but it's easy to realize you get some coming in, which means a lot of them have to leave. So that's basically what they did. Now, you mentioned the weekend. You might have missed some of the big moments. If you didn't have such a hot weekend, let's relive some of the greatest.
The Weekend Rewind, brought to you by Cycles of Jacksonville, the big boy toy store for big boy toys.
What happened this weekend?
The Warriors survive after Steph's brain farts.
Fox over to Barnes for the lead. And that's it. The Warriors survive.
The Braves bullpen gives the Astros a sweep.
Friday on a slider. First time he faced him since the World Series. There's a ball into right field. That's going to tie the game. 2 runs will score. Yordan Alvarez comes through again. We're tied at 2.
Max Muncy is a man possessed.
Bowman's 2-2. Max Muncy. Deep right field. Max Muncy, man on fire. Off the scoreboard. And the Dodgers lead 4-3.
Dylan Brooks grabs LeBron in manland.
Brooks on the reach, connecting with LeBron's midsection.
The contact by Brooks to James is unnecessary and excessive. He's been issued a flagrant foul penalty too and has been ejected from the game.
Tank destroys Garcia.
You go back and you hear that call on Dylan Brooks, that's savage, and the ejection warranted.
Midsection.
Deserved. Yeah.
Midsection.
He may be
Getting
more
in the midsection.
He may be more
That's
of a
a low
villain than Draymond
midsection.
in the eyes of NBA
Oh,
lovers
yeah.
and haters these
Especially
days.
after his pre-game comments or post-game comments the other day called LeBron old, and it's like, at least.
And then he wonders why they're out to get him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He is
and
literally
led
the guy in the
league
hot dog costume.
in
We're all
technicals,
wondering
and
who
at
did
least, you know, Draymond has won plenty of rings, and he's one of the best defensive players in the league. Like, and he's always had respect for great players.
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks is just being a WWF guy.
Remember when Dylan Brooks also got into a fight with Coach K when he was in college, Oregon and Duke in the tournament? So this is nothing new if you've been
Yeah,
following
there is
college
history.
basketball.
Yeah, there is history. But Draymond at least came out and balled once again, that's for sure. You saw all the good ones. Donovan Mitchell did not play particularly well. He admitted he took it head on in the locker room after losing to the Knicks, which I thought was meaningful from him. Anyway, he had a lot of great stuff. Thanks to Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency. We keep it rolling. Back to a draft comment that Daniel Jeremiah made that definitely is worth revisiting. We'll do that coming up on XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. If you've got the time, we've got the sports talk.
Who is this? It's me, pal.
1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Honda has done it again with their all-new exciting SUV and truck lineup for 2023. HRV, Pilot, Passport, Ridgeline trucks, and our popular CRV hybrid. This is without a doubt Honda's most impressive lineup. Visit your local Honda dealer today. We're dealing.
Coming through in the clutch. David Garrard for Clearwater Seamless Gutters. You all know Clearwater installed my sprinklers, but recently John Haney's Clearwater Gutter Division installed beautiful 6-inch seamless gutters for my home in Jacks Beach, and they work great.
Dave, that's awesome to hear. Now jump in. We're fixing to sing. Clearwater irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage too.
All year long you'll be singing our song. Stay cooler with Bueller. At the head of our class we make it happen fast. Stay cooler with Bueller. For heating and air we always play fair. We make the difference 'cause we really care. Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Listen for the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Rehabilitation House Call and the Frangie Show this Friday. They'll tell you about rehab parameters for baseball and softball players and the different tools available at JOI Rehab. JOI, where the pros go.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars on their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
In sports, the grind outside the lines is what ultimately defines our success. Get the amateur's edge, powered by B3 Better, to learn the hidden path of top pros, amateurs, and coaches. Saturday mornings at 11 on 1010XL.
This draft preview is brought to you by Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeast Florida and Safe Harbor Seafood. Florida guard Osiris Torrance isn't likely to fall to number 24, but Jacksonville would love to have the chance to call his name. The first Gators consensus All-American offensive guard, Osiris Torrance would plug the hole at left guard for the long term, helping them fix their short-term yardage issue while giving them an anchor on the O-line.
E.T. here, and y'all know how much I like my brown water, but I ain't gonna lie, it gives me headaches sometimes. So my alternative is Brackish Vodka. This gluten-free alternative to Tito's is 100% local, and all monies stays right here in Duval. Not only does Brackish Vodka make you feel good, but when you support Brackish Vodka, you're also helping local charities. Try it side by side with your favorite vodka, and you will taste and smell how natural Brackish Vodka really is. And when you do, remember who sent you. Come on, somebody.
Summer is here, so while you're at the beach or on your bike, head on down to Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach, where you'll find the absolute freshest seafood in all of the 904. The biggest shrimp, the saltiest oysters, the freshest fish, all here at our newly renovated restaurant in Neptune Beach. Fresh seafood delivered daily by Safe Harbor, straight from the boat to your plate. Unique oyster specials daily, along with mixed cocktails from the bar. Come enjoy this beach vibe. Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach, locally owned by Safe Harbor Seafood.
Come to Bowden Eye for all your eye care needs. Hicken here. Did you know that dry eye disease affects up to 60 million Americans? Dry eye disease is known to progress. Dry eye disease is one of the most common but least diagnosed eye conditions doctors see in their patients. Many of us who have dry eye may not even feel it. At Bowden Eye & Associates, visit today for your personal consultation. Keeping the First Coast focused. Bowden Eye & Associates. New location now open off County Road 210 in St. Johns County.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is teaming up with the NFL to inspire change. From now to draft day, Big Brothers Big Sisters is following the NFL draft, aiming to recruit potential bigs. Hi, I'm Brent from the 1010 sales team. I'm committed as a mentor, and we need you to step up and become a mentor too. There's a waiting list of more than 50 children hoping for a mentor. It's just a few hours a month. Be a mentor. Become a big. Visit bbsnefl.org. Be a mentor or visit Big Brothers Big Sisters and click on Big Draft.
I'm Dr. Mitchell Yass, the most unknown world-renowned expert on pain elimination. That's right, elimination. If you've tried medications, injections, physical therapy, chiropractic, even surgery, and still experience pain, then say yes to Yass. I have successfully used the Yass method for over 30 years to help thousands reclaim their lives. To learn more, call me at 904-906-YASS. Let's end your pain and say yes to Yass.
Yo, yo, yo! Are you looking for the lowest price on car insurance? ET here for Australia Car Insurance. Call 1-800-CAR-INSURANCE today. Australia is your quick and easy alternative to pay less for car insurance. Switch and save money. Call 1-800-CAR-INSURANCE today.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So the SEC is looking to ban students and just fans in general from storming a field after a football win.
No, because of the shivs.
I thought you said they were going to ban students.
And one possibility, this is from SI.com and confirmed by The Athletic, is taking away home games for offending schools.
Storming the field, huh?
And then, but then you have to quickly, is it down the line or that
Yeah,
season?
like the next year. So, had the rule been in place, for instance, Tennessee's next scheduled home game against Bama in 2024 could have been switched to Tuscaloosa. That, of course, after an Alabama player assaulted someone on the field.
Oh, very good point. You're saying it would go to the other team?
This is just the athletic,
Now, was it introduced as the Matt Hayes Shiv rule, or how was it?
Well, we're going to find out. This is nothing official yet. Of course, they have the spring meetings coming up next month when that would be official or not.
So, first off, they're not. I mean, this is out there for a reason.
Just spitball.
This was released for a reason because
they want you to think about it.
They want everybody in the league to realize, look, this is what's going to happen.
Get your house in order.
Yes, because they don't want stuff that happened with Tennessee and Alabama when Jermaine Burton punched somebody.
Yeah.
They don't want stuff like that happening.
They don't mind.
They don't want shivs in the crowd, okay?
They don't mind. Shivs. They don't mind goalposts floating down the river. That's cool. That was great video and down.
It was, but the reality is somebody can get hurt with that. When the goalpost comes down, well, it's happened before, is all I'm saying, okay? And I think that's when you've got fans rushing, if there's a front row that are not, like in the Wisconsin game 10 years ago.
Like when Frangie got trampled. I understand what you're saying.
Stuff happens, man, and it's bad stuff happens. So it's that and the shivs.
Our boy Dell, by the way, on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, has resent the Zapruder photo from the LSU-Alabama game. Did you see that man with what looks to be tiki torch knives? It doesn't look like a shiv. That looks like something else entirely. But he was on the field, Matt. With the knives, the LSU, don't you remember that, Joe?
Yeah, I do remember it now. I'm glad that he was reminding of this. It's like the drum major wand or whatever that's out there.
Look, Del knows
staff.
all about the shivs, okay?
Drum major staff.
Yeah,
Shivs
staff.
real.
There you go.
A wand seems a little wizardy.
A lawn dart.
Well, speaking
Listen,
of,
most of us are civil. Okay.
Most.
We're out
I
there to
agree
party.
with you. Yes, I agree. There are some that are not.
We're out there to party.
Yeah,
and all it takes is one.
Like the football player who
Yes.
assaulted a female
Yes,
college student.
that too, yes.
So it wasn't a fan. It was a footballer.
Exactly.
Dell says it is actually a jail shiv. I didn't even know what they looked like. So that tells you where we're at. Speaking of reminding, though.
While we're on the
They
drum
can be
major
made
thing, though,
out of many things, by the way.
the major staff, I really, especially with the way the spring game ended up for Florida, okay, there were only 2 touchdowns. They only brought that major staff out a couple of times. Don't bring it out in the fall. Do not bring it out.
Oh, that's like their prop.
That's their prop.
I forgot about that.
I don't know what that is.
It's
I remember AR
when
did it
AR
last
No,
year.
I know that. I know. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Like you're better than that. You don't.
Exactly.
They're not better than that.
Well, actually,
Let's get to that Daniel Jeremiah. Speaking of
Reminding.
Anthony Richardson last year.
And JJ reminded
Great
us.
segue.
Yes, JJ reminded us of a certain soundbite from Daniel Jeremiah on Rosillo's podcast with Todd McShay, the ESPN NFL Network crossover that Joe C. missed on Friday. And so we want Joe to take a listen about what they think of everyone's favorite Florida Gator.
By the way, Richardson, dude, I cannot find. I've been talking to people every day as you have. I can't find I don't know who the Richardson team is.
I don't have one. I don't have one. I talked to Chris Mortensen yesterday, and I wouldn't bring it up if it was, if it was private. He brought it up on we did a mock draft show last night, and he said, I don't have a team. And I said, I keep looking. And I've talked, again, I've talked to other teams, say, you know what? If we had the patience, we had the time, if we were in the situation that this team was in, I would take a shot on him. I would take a shot on him over Will Levis. Like, there are a lot of people who like him more than Will Levis, but they're not the teams that are drafting quarterbacks. That's the hard part I'm having. Yeah. And I think he could. I said the other day, it will not surprise me at all if we get to pick 12 and he's still on the board.
Mm-hmm. I just don't know where to put him.
That's wild. So McShay is the one reacting to what Daniel Jeremiah said.
Who says, I don't know where to put him.
And then the last line was from Daniel, I don't know where to put him. But McShay said he's talked to a bunch of them. Now, the potential of
Jeremiah said everyone I've talked to doesn't have him on their board.
Right. Now, when they say doesn't have them on their board, that I looked at both, I'm like, whoa. Does that mean doesn't have them on their board?
We can't find a place for him. Everyone he's talked to, he cannot find a place for him.
Okay, so I'm just trying to read.
So they wouldn't pick him, I guess, is the question.
Right. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to read between.
Not
the
in their
leaves.
board on the first round.
Yeah, and at the top.
Yeah.
The ones because he went past 12, and so that's when he's trying to figure out. In other words, does Seattle have a spot for him? Do the Raiders have a spot for him? Are those types of teams looking?
I don't think he gets past Seattle. I think Seattle takes.
I think Seattle does too.
Yeah, I do.
At 5?
I do.
Well,
I do.
I don't know whether they trade back if someone else is there to where someone might want to jump up, and then it would make more sense if they did that. All I know is that if you do reach a certain point, you're going to go through a free fall.
If he hits like 12 or 13, he's going to fall.
You're going to tumble.
Yeah.
Let's also look at it from this perspective. Albert Breer, Monday morning quarterback, put out his various quotes he heard from insiders and executives this weekend. Here's one from a GM this past Saturday to Albert Breer. If you have 15 first-round grades, only 15, then that draft class sucks. I have less than 15 first-round grades this year. And so that is where, if teams don't have a first-round grade on Anthony Richardson, but they only have it on X amount of guys, even if they're picking in that top 15 and they have interest and they could probably use Anthony Richardson, they don't want to risk missing out on one of those other guys.
Sure, if there are fewer of them, totally get it. But I also don't mind if you have the luxury of picking and you say, you know what, there isn't another good first-round grade at, whatever, a position that we're really, really needing. Draft him.
Here's the thing, though.
Draft him. Put him out there and just let him sit. If you're secure and you've got a good team, then let him become an attractive target to somebody else when they fall flat on the face.
If he wasn't the greatest physical specimen of quarterback that the league's probably ever seen, and everything he can do,
very close,
and everything he can do, okay, height, weight, speed, everything, athleticism, everything, okay. Right. If he wasn't that guy, if he was just a 6'2", 220-pound quarterback that played at Purdue, his name was Joe Cowart, and he had put up the numbers that
he put up, scrappy little Boilermaker,
and he put up the numbers that he did. He's a 7th-round pick or an undrafted free agent.
Probably.
But he would have off-the-field issues.
Yeah, a lot of them.
I mean,
he went to Purdue. He
seriously,
didn't go to Florida.
If you put up those numbers and you have that tape, you are a 6th or 7th-round pick and maybe undrafted free agent.
And yet GQ, the latest to do a profile on Anthony Richardson.
I think it's great. I love it. I love the fact that he's getting all this attention.
You know what? Honestly, he is gregarious in the sense that
he's a great kid.
The camera loves him.
Yeah.
People love him. There's a lot to like about him.
And great for Danny, too,
man. That's all positive. But, yeah, it's the biggest unknown. So I think maybe tomorrow I'll come up with some prize pack. JJ, did you decide, are we just going to ask 10 nooners to give us the top 10?
I like the top 10 better than where the quarterbacks
go. Okay. All right. So start thinking about that, you noon mockers.
How many of you – the winner – so you
points.
pick who you think goes in the top 10, and then the guy with the most players picked in a certain spot.
Yeah, in that certain spot.
Yeah.
And I'll come up with a nice prize for you that's football related. How about that? Something that you will love. Jaguar-ish, something like that. But we'll set that up tomorrow and get people in on it. We've got our media mock draft coming up on Wednesday.
Yeah, so where do we start picking, JJ?
Right around 16.
We start with the Steelers.
Yeah.
All right.
Because actually there's only 31 picks this year. With the Dolphins not having.
So you're saying we're coming on the air when Anthony Richardson is selected. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we will find out if AR is taken by the time Ray Fittipaldo is making our pick at 12-10.
That's beautiful. They went Kenny Pickett. It was, debate about whether or not he should have gone in the first round. Looking okay.
Because if he gets to like 13, 14, he hasn't been picked, how many of those teams, the rest of the teams, need quarterbacks?
Exactly. That's the tumble that I'm suggesting.
But here's
that's the free fall.
That might be the best thing for him.
Correct.
A team that doesn't need him to start over.
And moreover, we've talked about this for the last 3 months. The Minnesota Vikings sent scouts to more games than any other NFL team of Anthony Richardson's, and they pick at 23rd right before the Jaguars.
You know what they'd like to do? They'd like to get that Kirk Cousins money off their books once and for all.
Honestly. But you could sit Anthony Richardson this year behind him. So, again, much like Seattle, wouldn't be the worst landing spot.
All right, XL Primetime wrapping. Frangie Show coming up next.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Oh, good morning.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Meow.
Doing their best to make every morning good. Or at least a little better.
Oh, now I see what you're saying.
Mornings on 1010XL.
That's good. That's good fun.
We've all been there, right in the middle of a nice, warm shower, and then boom! The water turns ice cold. Well, do I have a solution for you? Just give my friends at Duck Duck Rooter a call. Mia here, and they'll send a plumber to investigate what's causing the issue. Maybe it's a simple service, or maybe it's time to upgrade your current water heater. Either way, Duck Duck Rooter will provide you with cost-saving options. So stop taking those unplanned cold showers and call Duck Duck Rooter, 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
Sports injuries are a common issue for both adults and children. Dr. George Barry here, and as a specialist in orthopedic care, the team at Barry Orthopedics and Sports Medicine here in Jacksonville provides comprehensive diagnosis and treatment of all types of sports injuries. With additional training in sports medicine and more than 30 years of experience, the team is available to care for your entire family and help you have fun and stay active. Visit us today at BarryOrthopedics.com.
And don't forget to check out Breaking Bones Sunday morning, 7:30 on 1010XL.
Call Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. We want to win your business with honest and upfront transmission service. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. That's a promise from me. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Cheer on your Jacksonville Sharks Sunday, April 30th, 4 o'clock at the ViStar Arena, and see the Sharks smash their in-state rivals, the Orlando Predators. With tickets as low as $15, you can't find this kind of family affordable fun anywhere else. Join us for our exclusive movie night. Strut down the red carpet. Pose for the paparazzi. Shark Tank Sunday, April 30th, 4 o'clock at the ViStar Memorial Arena. For tickets as low as $15, call 904-621-0700 or check out jacksharks.com. Come dressed to impress. Ends up.
Hey, did you know nacho fries are back at Taco Bell? But they're not going to hang around forever, so don't wait. Or you might miss out on these hot, crisp fries covered in all those bold Mexican spices with delicious nacho cheese sauce. Or wait and just settle for flavorless fries. Regular, bland, spiceless, flavorless, flimsy, non-nacho fries. Just an absolute bummer of a fry. Nacho fries are back. Get them today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation which vary.
Get closer to nature.
Trying to get close to these bugs out here.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Favor, and Captain Kirk Waltz. The Nimnicht Outdoor Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter. Every Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances, that's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Denny Thompson here. Tyson Sound & Security is hiring salespeople right now. If you want to sell new tech security cameras or home automation, Tyson Sound & Security is looking for you. Tyson Sound & Security is hiring for sales positions, and they will train you to be successful. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. That's 762-1000. Hiring for sales positions right now. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Equal opportunity employer.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Don't suffer another day with cheap box store cornhole boards. Order your custom luxury boards from Mystic Cornhole Company right here in Jax. Ask about pro-level bags, lights, score stands, and other accessories. And score with Mystic Cornhole Company.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-7473. That's 1-800-747-3733. Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping the sports world spinning with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
All right, the handoff is official. Lauren Brooks joins us now. Francis Show getting ready to roll on Monday of draft week.
It is finally here. I feel like we have been waiting so long for April 27th to arrive.
You know, the beautiful thing about waiting this long is you get to wait longer because it's not number one overall. Okay,
Also true.
get to wait till the 24th pick. By this time, a year ago, they'd made 2 selections, basically.
Yes, and let's hope that they stay at 24, or else we're going to have to keep waiting.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? They potentially, we've been talking about this. You get to that point where there might be a player that falls, there might be another team that's desperate or feeling like that's a good value and come up and get it, which wouldn't be the worst idea. But this team still needs to find starters, massive contributors right away. They can't be moving too far down.
Right. No, I agree. I think whoever they pick at 24, I think they'll stay at 24, and whoever they pick at 24 is going to be, if this team's going to make a deep postseason run, is going to be a really important part of that. Whether or not they're a full-time starter, if they go, say, edge, they may not be a full-time starter, but certainly they would be a huge contributor.
Yep. So what are y'all digging into?
We have a special guest coming in today from 4 to 5. We have Kai Stevens, the new Jaguars team reporter, Jaguars.com, coming in. So we're going to talk all things Jaguars with her.
Get ready for everybody to get ready for the draft. All right, cool. Sounds good. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
All right, so we got Brooks, Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, Agent Gibbs. They will all have the Frangie Show coming up. And every Jaguar fan out there is probably looking around, trying to figure out what's going to happen inside the division, what's going to happen with their team and which direction they're going to go. And we got all these different props and odds as far as where players could land in and around the Jacksonville Jaguars' 24th pick overall. You did your Mia mock. Tell everybody about it again.
Go 1010XL.com, scroll down to where Hayes and my columns blogs are. It's 4.0, final one ahead of Thursday's draft, and so make sure you go check it out there, as well as the video version at the 1010XL social and video
And you
channels.
got them taking Brian
Branch in this final one. Although I got to tell you, like I keep saying, after listening to some people around the league and just talking to people this weekend, I just think there's going to be such a run on tackles that they're going to have to take one. I just get that feeling.
And people are pointing out that they better make sure they give weapons to Trevor and protect Trevor, and I totally get that. I just feel like they have 2 starters there. That's under the heading of Cam Robinson must be healthy. Okay, and we don't know that. They know that. We don't know that. If they go offensive line, they're obviously thinking about the future, but they may also be a little bit worried about Cam's
There can never be
status.
too many weapons for your quarterback.
I
Never.
agree, but your free agent pick was Calvin Ridley. That's how you have to view it.
Sure.
And I wouldn't mind them looking tight end relatively early in this draft, somewhere in the top, between Thursday night and Friday night. Friday night would make me happy if they did that. That way they add more than one person to the tight end room. I will happily take that. All right, we are out. Got the Frangie Show coming up next. You got plenty of draft talk throughout the Frangie Show. Into the Night with Rick Ballou, Hacker After Dark. It will not stop because the Jaguars are getting fired up and ready to go Thursday night. You got the big draft party down at the bank. Don't forget to go to Jaguars.com and make sure you get registered. You have to register and get your tickets to head down to the draft party. As the Frangie Show will be down there. The live broadcast will be down there to follow. All that will be happening right here on the Superstation. Joe C., Mia O'Brien, Matty Hayes, Big Sirs, and JJ. You got the Frangie Show coming up next.
You're riding